Okay, folks, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Why not? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Mark. Hey.
Mark can come sit next to us, blue shirts, green shirts.
Okay, welcome to the July 8th meeting of the Town of Canandaigua Planning Board. Let me introduce the folks here so I don't forget who they are. Kimberly Burkhart is our remote facilities coordinator. We have Tim Schneider, board member. Mark Tolbert, welcome back, Mark, board member. Amanda Van Laken, board member. Bob, of course, board member. I'm Chuck Euler, board chairman. Kristen Smith is our zoning officer. Eric Cooper representing MRB. Chris Nadler, our attorney, and in the back is Karine Hatch, our recording software. All right, we're going to follow the agenda as published. Hopefully everyone signed in out front, so we have a record of your attendance. If not, please do so sometime during the meeting. And guess we'll do the privilege of the floor first. Anybody here want to address the board regarding an issue that is not on the agenda for this evening? Now would be the time to speak. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on with the posted agenda. We have two public hearings tonight. They have both been advertised in the Daily Messenger on July the 3rd. So they have been duly legally posted. And that being said, let's move on to our first application, which is CPN 2024-117. An oldie but goodie for a continued site plan and special use permit for a property at 2061 County Route 8 regarding a Verizon cell tower. And we received today from the applicant a letter stating by the application dated September 30th, 2024, supplemented by Verizon has applied for an application to the town of Canandaigua for approvals necessary to construct and operate the above referenced project. The project was last discussed at the planning board meeting on March 25th, at which planning board considered, among other items, the location of the project. Subsequent to that meeting, Verizon was informed that the property owner had entered into a contract to sell the property to a neighbor owning property next door, directly adjacent to the property. The adjacent property has a forested area which provides a natural screening and could potentially serve as a fourth alternative site for the project. Accordingly, Verizon hereby is performing the due diligence on this fourth alternative, and therefore Verizon requests an adjournment of the project until the town planning board's meeting of August 26th, 2025 meeting, and an extension of the FCC shot clock until August 27th of 2025, signed by Stephen Ferezzo, attorney representing from Nixon Peabody. So given that request, if the board is willing to honor that, we would extend that application in anticipation of probably another application, because the fourth alternative was on a separate property, separate parcel. So it would require a separate application. But in the meantime, they would like to keep the current application active through a continuation. So all that being said, do I have a continuation till August 25th?
They're extending the shot clock.
Along with the extension of the shot clock, which is not in the resolution, but is certainly clear in the letter from Mr. Fnell.
Did you guys get that? You guys said.
Yeah. July or August 26th.
25th. 26th is our meeting, yes. I think they had the wrong date.
No,
Did I get a
August
motion?
26th, right?
August 26th.
26th is the meeting. Yeah, I think he had the 25th. But
It sounds like they're continuing to prepare the application to be a fourth site.
You guys, yes, and you guys know about the fourth site, possible fourth site.
Yes.
You do.
So in the middle of what is left.
thank you. Got a motion from Mark. Do I have a second?
Amanda seconds.
And the second.
Further.
Okay, we will take a vote. to continue the application until August 26th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thanks for coming out.
See you on the 20th.
We can also call Kristen.
Right, the next application is 2025-013.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Again, it's a continued public hearing for a special use permit for 5300 Black Point Drive, the Johnsons. How you making out, folks?
We're still waiting on Bill Grove, our engineer, to show up. He should be here pretty soon. Can we just get like a shuffle back couple? Is that okay?
Sure. Can do that.
Sorry, I thought he was gonna be here before. but-
No problem. I know he's got another application.
Yeah.
And he's not remote, so we'll
no,
wait
he's
for him.
coming in. I just talked to him.
Okay,
Thank you.
alrighty, let's see, well, we're waiting for Grove. Do you mind, folks, if we just push it back a little bit? Yeah, just two applications, okay? It shouldn't take too long. Next, we have a subdivision 2025-045. Anthony Venecia representing a property owner at 4964 Hillcrest Drive for a minor subdivision in the R3A district. Oh, excuse me, no, in the it's in this SCR?
Yes, Karen.
Yeah, SCR. It's not the,
Yep.
up on the hill.
Hillcrest Drive.
Hillcrest, yep.
On the hill.
Okay, Anthony,
Yep, so what we have here is a 2-lot subdivision on Hillcrest Drive. It's where, if you're coming up Hillcrest Drive, it's a private drive. It either dead ends or it goes left, so that's the property right there where it goes left and then it dead ends. The proposal is to do a 2-lot subdivision with this lot 2 being on the northwesterly corner. The access will be off of that that extension of Hillcrest Drive. The drive will come off of that and then wrap up to just on the north side. There's a plan to do a potential build there in the future, in the near future, pending approvals. There are a couple NRI features that are located on there. The house will try to stay out of those in the future, but it's pretty straightforward. We did get a variance for lot width off of that northern flag, if you will. But it's pretty straightforward. It's got all public utilities, so there's no issues there. Plenty of room to do what they need. Also, one of the big factors of doing this project was this lot is one of the last large lots there. And it's the only lot left that actually can be subdivided. Everything else is kind of maxed out at this point. There's been some re-subdivisions and this is kind of the last lot that will be allowed up there per deed structures, things of that nature. So if there's any questions?
you did get your variance from the ZBA back on the 17th of June. And I think, Mr. Novak, you said that you've worked it out with the neighbors regarding the sharing the maintenance. It's another lot as part of the
Again,
community,
they'll
right?
be included in the HOA.
The HOA requires, it's actually, if you buy a piece of property, you are automatically in the HOA and you have to be in the HOA. So
But- What's different here is you're creating a new lot.
Right.
Yeah,
Additional
additional lot.
property
So-
in the HOA.
they'll pay a membership fee and they'll have access to the road. And aside from that, there's a letter in the file. All my neighbors are fine with what I'm doing.
Is this everyone in the HOA?
Everyone, yes.
Every property? in the
Yes.
HOA?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
I liked that kind of very standardized approach. to
Yeah, that was,
it.
that was.
just
You don't see that with private drives. You can't handle that much.
right.
I gotta ask one question.
Yeah.
Is the driveway gonna start at the?
So the driveway is gonna be right at the, if you're coming up Hillcrest, there's that kind of dead end,
Right
right
there.
through there. And then
The
also,
road, they're not gonna continue.
yeah, they've also, the owner and the has also been talking with Jim with the town about when they're, because their driveway is gonna go, the driveway plan is to go considerably up that right of way. And then Jim's gonna kind of build a little stub so we can get to that public taking unit. That's just to the west of that on the field property there.
Yeah,
So.
I was just wondering, not along the road for us or anything.
No, it's all private anyway.
Yeah,
So
right.
you guys, there's no plowing, there's no nothing. It's all privately taken care of. So there's no,
Yeah.
HOA.
yeah, it's all taken care of. There's no burden on the town at all.
It is in the scenic view sheds, but it is more than an acre, so it complies with the lot requirements of the scenic view shed. Is the lot sold?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
it is.
So building is imminent,
Yes.
okay.
We'll see.
Will we require a site plan for this lot?
Yeah.
Or may we require a site?
Yes, I think there's a number of reasons you will, the applicant will be required to obtain site plan
Okay.
review, including scenic view shed overlay, including X number of
Disturbance.
disturbance. And
All
you can also add it as,
new developments need it. It's not in your standard subdivision, so it would be.
yeah, but you could also add it as a condition.
Okay, well,
I'm pretty sure it is on the notes
Yeah.
that it's not a building site until the planning board deems it.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
added that already.
well, it will become one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The county planning board did not meet in June, so we have no recommendation from them, but we are allowed to go ahead and take action. The ag committee found no loss of ag land as part of the subdivision. ECB did mention the hardwoods up on the hill there, try to preserve them as much as possible. And I think that's all the more reason to consider a site plan review that we can ensure that they are preserved and that the any future lighting be dark sky compliant. Anything else the board has on this?
No.
Okay, anybody in the audience want to address the board regarding this application? If not, let's take the seeker. It is an unlisted action since it is a subdivision. I'll close the public hearing and I did ask if anybody wanted to address the board regarding it, and we can move right on to seeker. Someone want to give me a motion for the unlisted action? We'll handle them separate.
I'll start with the unlisted action. So a move to approve the seeker resolution unlisted action for CPN 25045 in subdivision on Hillcrest Drive.
A motion a second, further discussion. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you want to roll if you want to do the subdivision.
Or, okay, I'll make a motion for the single stage subdivision plat resolution for 25045 at Hillcrest Drive with three conditions. Do we have additionals?
I added one condition or suggested adding one condition of the variance is granted by the ZBA and no other comments.
Concur. So
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we've got the parkland assessment in there. And I think everything's copacetic, so I have a motion of second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Well done, fellas. All right, Bill has arrived. Might as well come on up. Johnson et al. Please. Okay. How are you making out?
Not too bad.
Tell us what's the latest, the last month.
Well, all right,
We're not exactly an engineer.
So, Johnson's asked me to take a look at the property, reevaluate their septic. They had a previous concept plan for the septic on the south side of the house as a replacement septic sized for the occupancy that they're looking for, which I believe is 15 people. So I went and looked at it and then scheduled a meeting with Tyler Rowley. He went and looked at it with us. We did some soil tests on the north side of the house. So we can avoid having to pump all the way around to the south side of the house and avoid having to add a new well. Tyler was on board with that idea. So I've got now just hot off the presses, the septic plan for a new system on the north side of the house. Big enough to support 7 bedrooms and or 15 people as a maximum occupancy, which was 910 gallons per day. Which I don't think they'll get that high, but that was a number that Tyler and I talked about when we met on site.
Good, good. Glad you're making progress. Okay, so that's going into Tyler?
Yep, it's already,
Okay.
submitted it to him today, but haven't heard. I asked him, it was late in the day, and I said, if you have a chance to send something to the town, please do so. And he hasn't yet, but I don't anticipate any issues with getting it approved. He seems fine with it being located on that north side. Meets separation distance from the well that are over there, so we don't have to do a new well.
Mhm.
So that's, what I can add to the conversation about their application. I don't know much else about it other than septic.
Well, septic's been the issue, and
Okay.
yeah, for what they're requesting, they didn't have an adequate septic system to handle
Yeah,
it.
yep, it's just.
And I
2 or
think
3
we had
lanes
been
there.
telling them that when you have an approved system, that, then you've met that standard as
Mhm.
far as being able to supply a septic system. So you're getting there. Okay, that's good. And hopefully, did Tyler give you any indication how soon?
He
you could-
sounded like he could get on it pretty quick to turn the approval around, or get back to me with any comments if there's any revisions needed, but. It was just last week that we met with him. I've only been part of the project for a couple weeks now, so
Mhm.
have plans done. Quick as, I tried to turn it around as quick as I
He's doing a good
can.
job.
So,
He's a good man.
So here,
Okay, board, I guess. Our mantra has been so far that, show us an approved septic system and we'll move ahead with the rest of the application, and that seemed to be the biggest hangup. I guess we would ask that we still see that documentation and would ask that you provide that at some point in the near future. And I know the Johnsons had asked, we give conditional approval, and I think we're reluctant to do that. I think we'd rather see it in hand, the permit that, and a timetable as to when you're going to actually do the work, because it's not just getting the approval, it's actually installing the system.
Mhm.
Possibly you get the permit, we could maybe consider a conditional approval until you actually put the system in. So in other words, you really couldn't use the property for what you're permitted for until the system is actually installed. But at least you have an idea that, it looks like it's forthcoming. And unless I'm saying something else.
No, you're right.
would that require them to come back to the planning board?
We need you mean after tonight?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you come back with a permit in hand, and then we would consider a conditional approval conditional upon the system being installed, because to handle that number of people, obviously you need the new system.
Mhm.
So. Along with any other, we haven't even discussed parking, and I think for the most part, the code enforcement did the inspection.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
all of that.
No, I think that's what taken care of, yep. So I think the issue remaining was the septic systems. We can get that resolved.
Okay.
Could be on your way.
all right,
I know it's not our business. We're not involved with, it's not the town's responsibility, but have you worked out with the neighbors as far as your ability to use that property? That's, it'd be a shame to go through all this and spend the money and everything done, and then have an injunction or something put upon you for not being able to use it. So hopefully you're working that out on the side.
how would they have any say?
I have no idea, other than some of the neighbors have expressed to this board, and we've told them it's not our responsibility to enforce that caveat, or whatever it is, whatever applies to the property, it's a.
Well, we're not
Yes,
really
sir.
worried about them regardless of we're doing what we can control.
Okay, I'm just speaking like a Dutch uncle. to you.
I hear you.
Telling you, you know, it'd be a shame to go through and spend all this money, put the system in and find out from a legal standpoint, you can't operate the way you want. to.
Why,
So,
why would,
Legally, we can.
why would that be the case if,
Again, it's
Alright.
the town's
no,
responsibility.
I'm just curious.
There's been, I would say, considerable feedback in the past, so I think if I've met
No, yeah,
Mr. Chairman.
I would just
just
ask.
to-
how-
Yeah,
Just to
bail me out
interject, just
here,
to say, it's just, I think he's just trying to keep it moving along and make sure that if there is anything you can do to talk to your neighbors or help settle anything, any differences in opinion, let's say.
I
Because
hear
it
you.
really is
That's-
your easement that you're allowed to go through their property to get to your house.
No.
Hmm?
We don't, they're not even by our house.
No,
We're
no,
on a different road.
yeah, I know, but your property is surrounded by their property.
Yeah, but nobody goes on their
There's
property.
no easement.
Yeah, there's no
It's
eas-
shared.
We have property all the way down to the lake as well, so it's all
Yeah.
shared access.
And
there's
so
no
that,
easement.
yeah,
And we're 7 generations. Our grandparents actually used to own that property, so sold to them.
yeah, it's not all.
So we care
Yeah,
about
but
this
they-
property a lot.
Your
too.
grandparents didn't run a short-term rental either, so, you know, that is.
No, but
different
for
use.
easement, there's no easement, so that's not really an issue.
Okay. I'm done talking. That's it. I'm just saying it.
No,
You'd be ashamed to have that happen.
that's
I'm,
fine.
I'm talking to you, you're young,
No, I
young
hear you.
folks, and I just don't want to see you get in the bind. And,
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
that's the reason we bring it up. It's-
I was just.
We'll worry
asking.
about the septic system, we'll worry about the STR permit, but, beyond that,
Thank you.
as far as any legalese, that's something you guys have. to do.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks,
So
Scott.
once
Okay.
they get septic approval from watershed, then they can come back and whatever the soonest agenda.
we can actually set a date. Do you think 2 weeks or do you want to wait a month?
I would think 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen in 2 weeks, please let us know.
Well,
And rather than spend a lot
Could
of
we
time at the
contact
meeting.
you?
Again, in 2 weeks, we need to
We need everything by
from
next week.
by the 15th, right? So do you think you can get something?
15.
Yeah.
Try.
Okay,
We can let Kristen know, right? if-
Yeah, if we don't get it, then.
Yeah.
if you don't, we'll just push off the
Okay.
2 weeks later, okay?
Thank you, guys.
All right, so let's get a motion to continue the discussion on this application to the July 22nd.
So moved.
Oh, sure.
Okay, got a second?
And it's in.
All in favor on the continuation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hey, we'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully. Yeah.
There's no easement, there's no access.
We're gonna spend some time with you, so that's why I don't wanna have everybody else have situations. Let's do Peter. Peter Brew, come on down. I'm gonna open a public hearing for a special use permit renewal. North Street, his property for his trailer and boat storage facility. And this is again a renewal of an existing permit. And you're back again. How are things working out there?
Unchanged. So, really what I'm think I'm here for is, to remove the expiration date. We don't have to do it every year.
You're here to renew your permit, yeah, so it would either have no expiration date or a new expiration.
I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I think his point is he's here to renew it and ask that the expiration date be removed.
Yes.
Okay. Everything else is quo. I guess there were a couple concerns the board had regarding, I know the code enforcement officer went out and he looked at it. We got some dead trees out there that have to be replaced. They're up on the berm.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be a requirement of any renewal. And I know our code enforcement people went out, inspected it and found it to be essentially in compliance with the conditions of the current permit. He also, Mr. Murphy also recommended a longer than 1 year renewal. And I guess the one thing I noticed, Peter, is the plan that was a part of this special use permit, the site plan, it did have an improvement of the entrance where you bring the trailers in. It was to be, and it was shown on the plan as a construction entrance, essentially to a certain width and stoned, and have tapers on either side coming out to County Route 30 or North Street. That never really got done. So I think,
We did have gravel brought in.
well, I went by there tonight and if there was gravel brought in, it's either been overthrown or kicked out. So you have some improvements to do there, but that would be a condition of it, of the renewal. And Bob, do you have some?
Yeah, Peter, last time we talked, on the last approval, we talked about mowing the whole thing. Because it is so overgrown. I walked in there yesterday and I can't even see some of the trailers because they're so full. And it just looks bad. But then after the meeting, you came back to the code guy, I believe, and you got a maintenance plan, which said you're gonna mow your grass 10 inches only in your drive areas, but not where the RV trailers. Is that correct? Does that
Yes.
sound right? In my opinion, it didn't seem like that was even done. Cause I was walking up in knee grass all the way in the back there. My one condition is that you mow it first, the whole, what is it, 12 acres? Just to clean it up, because your neighbor, we approved theirs several years ago, but there's all gravel. And you guys came to us on a nice gravel plan that you're gonna build something back there. And I hope in the future you do that. To make it look, much more viable in the area there. But my opinion is that you need to have mowed. And it needs to be a lot cleaner than it looks right now.
My challenge is that in the spring, when it's empty, it's wet, and I can barely get anything in there. So, that's one of the primary reasons why I was saying the driveways, because now it's dry and I could get in there.
Yeah, it was dry all the way back this time. I walked the whole way back there. But it's so overgrown, you can't even see your trailers back there.
Isn't that a good thing?
Well. I get approached a lot. It's like, what is this thing over on North Street? They're doing their best. Just a little bit about your statement of ops, which just you've had for a year now. I just didn't understand it. In one of your number 3 statement, you say you're gonna be there from dusk to dawn. I think that's backwards.
I did submit because that was caught, and I
Okay.
submitted a revision,
Oh,
perhaps.
I didn't see that one.
Okay,
And you changed the word summarized from summarized to summarized. Did you see that?
no,
In the first paragraph?
I changed it from what?
It's like
Summarize?
you're summarizing a paragraph,
Oh,
not summarizing the vote. I know what you meant, but
As
it's
opposed to winterizing a boat.
winterizing, it's summarized, but it's summarizing. a
Like
paragraph.
the season.
autocorrect probably caught it.
And spelled correctly. I'm like, I don't think that was right. But the idea is you're not gonna be there at night, you're gonna be there from dawn to dusk.
Correct.
And if you submitted a new one, I didn't see it. So those are,
You did some.
okay. Well, I just looked at so many documents. Maintained. The trees you brought up. That's all.
Okay, board, any other comments? How about the length of the extension renewal? We've been doing it year to year. I think part of it was you were considering a eventual development back there. We said, well, maybe this isn't gonna last that long, so, but I guess would 3 years be appropriate?
That's fine.
Okay, how's 3 years sound? I think the only reason, one of the concerns was there is floodplain on the property. And I think Mr. Murphy said something about potential of the new designation of the 500-year floodplain that could affect this property, and he'd sort of like to keep it open. So I think a 3-year renewal would be appropriate, and maybe by then you're ready to build too.
Probably not with the floodplain designation.
Depends how bad the floodplain, if whether it goes in or goes out.
Do you guys wanna put a time frame on fixing your concerns or addressing your concerns separate from the renewal? Cause if a special use permit holder is in violation of the conditions of the terms of the special use permit, be revoked, brought in and, addressed. But I don't think you wanna wait 3 years,
No, I would personally
but I don't know how long.
since it's so dry, I would, I mean, if you could do it within a month or so, it's summertime, so. That's a lot of trailers to move, I understand.
Well, that would be miserable. So why do you want me to cut the grass so you can see the trailers?
Just because you've got another marina right next to you, although there is separation of one piece of property there. That marina is all gravel, it's all parked nicely, everything is back there looking nice. Yours just looks like it's back there. Even if, I don't even know if some of them, I mean, one boat's been back there a long, long time, which is fine.
Mhm.
Got the permit to do that. Yeah, I mean, that, it would just look better in our neighborhood. That's my personal opinion.
So how would we put the requirements on, if we extend the special use permit for 3 years, but put some sort of cutoff for when the mowing trees gotta be replaced, the driveway's gotta be re-gravel? How would we do that in the same resolution? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Added as a condition of renewal, becomes a condition of the special use permit.
With the last resolution, it was part of the conditions of approval that those things needed to be done prior to, because it was set to a date, that could be written in the same fashion. Just deciding what those dates would be. Then continuing with the maintenance, there's a maintenance plan that was submitted. So we should look at the maintenance plan and make sure that aligns with the desire of 10 inches of grass, or giving the code enforcement office the information that they need to establish to do what they need.
And a schedule for inspections, if you're gonna put deadlines on, say, and with code enforcement or something, there's your inspections.
Right.
That's this many.
Yeah, that's the, we'll keep the grass cut so height of no more 10 inches in the area between the road and the trailers, and the house between. That's what you're.
Yeah, that's not done.
In the initial resolution, it required the access to the property to be built, so that should probably be added to the maintenance aspect of it. And then it also calls out that the size of the trailer as well as the boats must be operational. So those are in the initial resolution as well. That should give
Carried over.
his team. If we replicate that resolution, then that should give Microsoft what they need to.
Yeah, I was thinking we, whatever the current or the one that just expired, just replicate that and then add anything that we would like to see done in return for a 3-year.
The biggest thing, Chuck, is I think we just need to. There needs to be agreement of dates that he has to do, because those dates are listed in the past, of course. There's something that needs to be modified, making sure that Mike and his team can do what they need to do to help Peter keep that going the way that satisfies the desire.
Okay. Pick a date.
Can I ask for some kind of relief on the mowing thing? Because that is a tremendous amount of work. I mean, it's 150 trailers there that each one's gonna have to be moved individually. Put a mower in there, put the trailer back. There's no place to kind of move the trailers to. So I don't know. And it's like the grass is this, it just seems odd to me that the rest of the lot, the grass is high. And we want just where the trailers are to be cut.
So isn't that where you say other areas will not be maintained as it won't be utilized? So you're utilizing the spot where the trailers are, and you're saying that that's gonna be cut. That's what that is.
No, that says I'll cut the driveway in between the trailers.
And the other areas will not be maintained as they will not be utilized. But
Right.
you're utilizing that space.
I meant the back, whatever, 10 acres that I'm not even touching.
You didn't say that there, though.
That's what that says. Other areas will not be maintained as they'll not be utilized. That's what that other areas is. I'm using what?
Yeah, that back 10 acres I get. You mean
Where it say,
the area where you're saying won't be maintained? It doesn't- Well, either way, that's last year. It
Yep.
either was or wasn't complied with. You're adding new conditions or continuing old.
And now we got 150 trailers on the site.
at least.
Uh,
And then if I cut it in the fall, when the trailers come out, it's just gonna grow back in the spring,
well, maybe you might have to cut in the spring before you put the trailers in.
but I can't get in there because of the wet.
What an option the trailer. You can't get in there.
All right,
You wanna see pictures of my trucks covered in mud? I mean, I honestly can barely get in there.
Would an option to be to increase the coverage of the road front so it's not seen in some fashion? Would that be a suitable option to increase line of sight and block off?
It would have to be a big berm.
You really can see them from the road?
Yeah,
You gotta really be looking.
I purposely went there looking for it. I mean, that was what I was did.
Do you wanna, well, yes,
I'm willing to wait for the cutting to the trailers go off, at least have it cut down then. But as far as the replacement of the
Trees
bushes
certainly can do that.
and
but-
the new gravel, improve that area.
And the pathways. You gotta at least do that.
Yeah, the pathways to
Soon.
where you take the trailers back,
so
that's to your benefit to have it cut,
Yeah,
Sure.
where you don't run, where the trailers are not far. So can we say, I don't know, with the trees, you're gonna get, oh, you can't plant trees in the hot summer.
well, step one, we need more definitions going, forward. Maybe a map with highlights, so this is what I mean by. Between the road and the trailers and aisles in between the trailers. Let's show that on a map so that there's no question next year when this comes up.
Well,
won't come
this-
to next year.
It changes, where do the trailers go from year to year change? There was 4 rows of trailers last year, there are 5 rows of trailers this year.
Well, then the map probably isn't gonna be that helpful.
I mean, I think the expectation and the hope with the size, aside from the building going in that helps change and reformat that property, was that there would be an option that maintenance could be done. Bob's level of expectation of what he's thinking, I think we are all in line with that at the time of creation that would allow you to move them. What probably turns into several times per year, right, 2 or 3 times a year, that allows it to stay under control, so it doesn't get to an uncommon state. That's a question that I don't know if that's possible with the land that's with the back 10 acres. Does that allow you to do that a couple times a year to move? It creates a different organizational outline for you that could potentially achieve that if that area is not too wet or something like that during the rest of the season. I'm open to suggestions of not, I understand the desires of not seeing an unstructured design. So if there's other ways of doing that up by the road, I would be open to those. I do kind of agree not seeing them. I don't mind that idea, but when you do see them, that's less than favorable.
Would you be okay with waiting to mow until fall?
If we come to an agreement on what,
Yeah.
what a suitable maintenance plan is. then-
I'm looking at, if we could pick a date. September 15th, by September 15th, the mowing should be done. Well, when do you pull boats off?
November 1st is really, if you're gonna pick a date. We'll be pulling trailers out of there until first week in November.
So start what, Labor Day and go from there.
Probably good.
September 15th-ish.
Okay, by November 1st. Be mowed, the vegetation would be replaced, which you'd be in the cooler weather, you could more more palatable for landscaping, and you would also have the driveway.
Can I get some guidance on the driveway?
It's on your own plan. It shows a construction driveway 12 feet wide, 6 inches of stone, flared at County Route 30. So that's the plan that we signed and approved, so. Take a look at your plan and that will show you how to do it. So, November 1st, November 1st, that okay? And
And that the zoning officer shall confirm that all those items are completed in a satisfactory manner on or before the date. And if not, shall so report to the chairman of the board.
I would like to ask though, Peter, if you could at least mow your alleyways
Sure,
as soon as you can,
sure.
okay? Do that, and then November.
And alleyways shall be mowed on or before 2 weeks from now,
Sure.
and the zoning officer shall confirm compliance.
And the term of the special use permit, being that these conditions are met, would be 3 years.
I have one other minor request. The
Yeah.
expiration date is like in the middle of my busiest season. Can I move the expiration date to,
2.5 years.
that's fine?
2.5 years?
Well,
You tell, anytime less than 3 years, yeah, gives the date. When
So
you're
like December or January would be great for me.
December
May is
31st.
when like the most bonkers time for us, and that's when it expires.
The end of January.
Into
So that-
January.
Well, give them to the end of, yeah, so that you can apply in December.
Sure.
Got that, Eric? January 31st.
That was easy. The
Good.
part anyway.
It was a minor one.
Okay. That all being said. Do you want to read the conditions that we have for this extension? And make sure I got the right copy. Special use permit.
So are we comfortable with the 4 conditions in the draft resolution? Alright, in addition to that, that the stabilized construction entrance be constructed and in conformance with the approved site plan by November 1st, 2025, the zoning officer shall confirm that has been met and report back to the chairperson. Property shall be mowed in accordance with the maintenance plan, mowed entirely with the maintenance plan by November 21st, so we'll to review, confirm, report back. The alleyways are to be mowed in accordance with the maintenance plan in 2 weeks, you said?
Yeah, so the maintenance plan, we need to, or the Chuck needs to review the maintenance plan, because we don't have the actual maintenance plan. Here.
The one they submitted,
The one
Murphy.
they submitted is.
So say, planning board shall review and confirm and approve the submitted maintenance.
Or chairman can do that.
I can do
So
that
that's what I meant.
before I sign the
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah,
So this one from July 1st, 2024 hasn't been reviewed and approved?
yeah, we're talking about,
Or was that?
It's not a maintenance plan, that's a sentence. I don't know where, who saw that, I've never seen.
that came in after our meeting last time.
Yeah, I think that was part of the condition of approval last time.
No,
Prior to the issuance of a special use permit, the maintenance plan for the site, including to the mowing of the site and ongoing maintenance, needing replacement of landscaping is to be provided to the town of Canada. And subject to the town code enforcement officer approval. So that was a condition from the planning board approved by,
no, it was after we met. It came back to the zoning officer or the code compliance guy, and then he agreed to it. We did
right,
not.
yeah, that's a condition of approval from the special use permit, what I just read.
We just need to see it.
You didn't see
We
it.
didn't
right.
see that,
Yeah.
yeah. Which changed a little bit from what we actually said.
So, but what he's saying is that we need a revised
Yes.
version that we're allowing Chuck to, or maybe the chairman to.
Okay. Okay, so I'll revise basically the previous condition, not to Mike Murphy's agreement, but to yours.
Yeah. Addition to or vision of my. Okay. When did you want that? Alleyways or for the site movement, like 2 weeks ago?
We to. And Chuck, staying too, right?
Mhm. So we're writing this plan by 2 weeks as well.
Okay. And. You've got the time limit.
Right.
Uh,
Approval of the special
January
restraint shall expire. And then the first 2027. And they can reapply or apply for renewal. 27, 28.
That's what I was wondering too.
Well. I guess it would be
25 to 26, 26 to 27. January 30, 20. Making sure we're all on the same page.
Yep, 2.5.
That's the math people with that, and they're making fun of me, but I'm comfortable with how I
I
do it.
think Peter's gonna remind us, since he loves coming back to see us.
Yeah, I think so.
Put that plan you had up there, I want to show Peter where his. Construction entrance, toggle over a little bit to the. To the right, so it's up in the left-hand corner. There it is. See that,
I see that, yep.
okay, stabilized construction entrance. That's what we're looking for. Okay, anybody have anything else to add? If not. I should ask, is there's nobody in the audience, nobody wants to address the board regarding this application, so we'll move forward. All in favor?
Wait a minute, do we need a
Oh, we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'm just trying to put it to bed.
Let's make the motion that we approve with what was the final count of 10 conditions.
Second?
No discussion, hope not. All in favor?
Aye.
Good to see you, Peter. Take care. All right, I put you guys, Bill, do you mind, since you were late, you're gonna have to wait a little bit.
No problem.
Okay.
I wasn't late for my app.
Let's double back to 2025-035. The solar farm application, and we got Haley and Ari and all. Brian, okay. By next meeting, I'll know all three of you.
Well, certainly have been here.
Yeah, part of the family.
Exactly.
Alrighty, anything new to report on your end? You got ZBA coming up?
Yeah, we have ZBA next week and we're back here, of course, following up on our appearance at the June 25th meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Above that, we did upload a couple things to Cloud Permit. I know when we were here last, Haley started off the presentation with going through all the boards we had been to and some of the seeker outreaches that has been made. I think it might have been someone on the board's comment to reduce that to a writing, put it up on Cloud Permit. We did that earlier today. It goes through with 11 enumerations, exactly the path the project has taken. Call attention to what is the 5th enumeration in that email or in that letter, which is May 13, 2025, the planning board declares its intent to serve as lead agency, and then MRB begins that seeker solicitation. No agencies, to our knowledge, objected to the planning board serving as lead agency. We did also preemptively sort of start that seeker process. We made initial outreach to DEC. That resulted in March 14, 2025, DEC issued its letter of no jurisdiction for freshwater wetlands. That was submitted as Exhibit 19 for initial submittal. Another relevant seeker review that's already been completed is the State Historic Preservation Office. issued its letter of no impact. That was March 26, 2025, and uploaded to Cloud Permit previously. These were both re-referenced in this letter that we submitted. I think it might have been Bob or Chuck comment. We did then went through some other things that were relevant. We're still waiting on Agriculture Advisory Committee final recommendation. Their minutes from their June 12th meeting are up, and what it says in the end is the AAC is, quote, holding their recommendation until the July 2025 meeting. That's on Thursday. We have also, let's see, this was before our last meeting. We also had discussions at our last meeting about SWIP review. We now have that letter in hand. And I think we are working on our responses, nearly there, I think.
Nearly there, no.
Okay. Let's see. We did talk to Tim Stryker of the Ag Committee, who was present at the prior meeting. He did say he would get the final comments to you shortly. We haven't received those yet, but we do anticipate that coming hopefully Thursday. Another thing that we discovered through our discussion at the last meeting was this is on Cloud Permit that there have been neighbor letters submitted for a response. We are aware of, at the time we were aware of one and responded to it. That was the letter of Ms. Davy, who I believe also serves on the Environmental Conservation Committee. We said that response in earlier today. The main thrust of that response is just reaffirming and reestablishing that this project is unique in terms of other solar projects that may have come before the town or will come before the town in the future, in that we have this robust agrivoltaics component that embodies what we understood to be an incredibly important feature of the town and part of its spirit. We put that into the project. What that does is basically sets a standard for solar development. I think I've said this to that board a couple of times. It's been said to the Ag Committee as well as the Environmental Conservation Committee, that while each project is reviewed on its own merits, you do still have this other project, hopefully it would be ours, out there on New Michigan Road that you can point to and say, please explain to us, other solar developer, why you can't develop something like Dimensions project on New Michigan. They were able to incorporate into a 5 megawatt array, 4.95 megawatt AC array, a whole agrivoltaic component, mitigating features that other projects just haven't offered yet. So you do have that standard you can point to. When we were uploading documents at Cloud Permit earlier today, we did discover that there's another neighbor letter, this time from the immediately abutting neighbors, the Wheelers. We did previously meet with them. That's part of why we designed our landscaping plan to have additional landscaping right along the side of our access road there. We did see some of the comments. I think a lot of it related to what we've seen to be a lot of common concern about home values. Obviously, that makes total sense to be concerned about that. You have a brand new change coming right next to your property, and people do value their home, both in terms of the equity they have in their home, and then hopefully one day it becomes a retirement nest egg, or it's also just the place you live and you want to protect it. What we do about those concerns, and we've been here before and we're fully aware of that concern, is we submitted I'm trying to look for it right now to give you the exhibit and where it is on Cloud Permit. It was a memorandum from one of our consultants, Cone Resnick, that discusses what, real estate, thank you. I'm trying to read two things and speak.
Market impact assessment.
Yes,
Right there.
yeah, see if it's under marketing. Yep.
Go up one a little bit, right there, in the middle.
No, it only looks like I mislabeled it, probably when I upload it. I'll tell you exactly which one it is.
It's in your check site
Yeah,
plan for you, right? I'm pretty sure I read it in there. That big huge document.
yeah, so anyway, we'll find it, I'll tell you, I'll give you a spoiler alert about it if you haven't read it. Cone Resnick is a real estate advisory, accounting and appraisal firm. What we asked them to do was take a look at the impact of constructed solar arrays in rural communities across Western New York and other places, Central New York, And what happens to the adjacent home values once those arrays are up and running? Those arrays include all the pole infrastructure that's associated with it, the arrays themselves. And what the study finds is there is no downward market valuation or valuation of the homes that are adjacent to these solar arrays. It sounds like this town has a very robust planning process. You get some sassy applicants. I guess you had a couple of those today. But generally speaking, it is measured growth in the town. It's well reviewed, and I get the sense that property values don't generally diminish here. They only go up because this is a well-run town, and our study only supports that based on what other solar arrays have seen in similar communities. We'll make sure that's called out for you, but that is and when we'll re-reference that as we do a specific response exactly to the Wheeler's letter. In any event, not much has changed since last time, other than those additional documents. It's still the same general design before you. I think it looks like we've resolved our Zoom issue. And Chair did recognize members of the public at the previous meeting. The sign was fixed. Haley and I both drove by earlier today. It's still up. Although the orientation of it is different than how I put it in the ground. So I don't know. What's that?
Welcome.
You're welcome. So you're saying move it over. I did not bring my rubber mallet this time either, which I resolved to do, but so thank you.
It's oriented with wood.
Okay, there we go. So now we know that it's gonna stay put. Knock on wood, so thank you to whomever replaced it there, but that's up. We have another neighbor letter to respond to that we'll take care of, and it's still our position that the project's past the stage of solicitation. We do think it's mature enough and the environmental impacts are all well known. And we do think, I'll just say bluntly, we would request that the board, it sounds like you might have more to discuss with us, but we also want to entertain part 2, part 3, and a negative declaration under State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Okay. So we'll talk environmental tonight, board.
Let's do it.
I think we're in a situation where you are going to ZBA next week. And for them to take action, there needs to be a bona fide approved seeker for them to take any action for or against, so thumbs up or thumbs down, but I think it puts us in a position tonight, and I think we have enough information to go through the seeker. But that, as a preface to that, as we discussed last meeting, here, we will declare ourselves the lead agency as a result of the solicitation we did of all the interested agencies, and no one wanted to take the realm, so we'll be the lead agency. So there's one resolution to involve that, and then we would move on to the determination of significance based on our reviews of part 1, part 2. So let's does the board have any discussions prior to the consideration of the declaring ourselves as the lead agency? No. That is essentially the resolution, the single page resolution you have in front of you. If everyone is comfortable with that, we'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept candidate planning board as lead agent on this.
Second. Motion second. Further discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So that allows us to proceed to the determination of significance, which, if you could recall, in other times we've gone through parts 1, 2, and 3, well, primarily 2 and 3 as our responsibility. We do take the time to look at each item. And I think with the help of our attorney, would you be willing to?
Absolutely.
And we would take a vote on each one?
Yeah. I want to, as we're ramping up to review the part 2, I wanna just make some comments for the record and disagree if you'd like. One, you have a part 3 with a narrative that prepared with assistance from our town engineer. And that you have all reviewed that. And that the applicant has submitted extensive documentation here. That you've all reviewed and are familiar with, so when we're answering these questions, and I realize we don't have a enormous public here, but I think it's important to understand that these are not. These are documented decisions. There's a lot of information and facts that you're considering as you're making these decisions. And the first one of those is impact on land. Number one, proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site. A, the proposed action may involve construction on land where depth to water table is less than 3 feet.
No issue.
No or small impact. B, the proposed action may involve construction on slopes of 15% or greater.
No.
No or small impact. C, the proposed action may involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of existing ground surface.
No or small.
Okay, D, the proposed action may involve the excavation and removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material.
No or small.
E, the proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases.
Says it in the secret, it's 8 months.
No or small.
The proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal.
I would say no or small.
Everyone agree with that?
No, small, yeah.
Okay, G, the proposed action is or may be located within a coastal erosion hazard area.
No.
No.
2, impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site.
No or small. No, that's pure no.
3, impacts on surface water. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies.
No.
Let's hear it. Okay, no.
Nope.
Seems to be the consensus of no. Let's hear it. You guys speak up, people. You're all answering. You just gotta not whisper. 4, impact on groundwater. The proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater, or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer.
No.
No.
Thank you, Amanda. 5, impact on flooding. The proposed action may result in development on land subject to flooding. Yes.
I think yes.
A, the proposed action may result in development in a designated floodway.
No or small.
B, the proposed action may result in development within a 100-year floodplain.
No or small.
C, the proposed action may result in development within a 500-year floodplain.
No or small.
D, the proposed action may result in or require modification of existing drainage patterns.
No or small.
E, the proposed action may change floodwater flows that contribute to flooding.
No or small.
F, if there is a dam located on the site of the proposed action, is the dam in need of repair or upgrade?
No.
6, impacts on air. The proposed action may include a state regulated air emission source.
No.
7, impact on plants and animals. The proposed action may result in a loss of flora or fauna.
No.
Number 8, impact on agricultural resources.
Yes.
Yes.
The proposed action may impact soil classified within soil group 1 through 4 of the New York State Land Classification System.
No or small.
No or small.
If we don't have a recommendation from the ag committee, should we be moving forward with this section?
So from a legal standpoint, it's your decision. And there is an impact here, these are classified as groups 1 and 2, right?
Well,
This is 3.
Oh, this is 3, sorry. But no, there's no legal requirement for you to have the Ag Committee's recommendation to make your environmental secret determination. If you think you need their decision or their advice, you can request that the board.
I think that they're informed as an agricultural committee because of their expertise. And I'm actually surprised that we don't have their.
well, and I
So-
think before we do anything on the special use permit and site plan, certainly would include anything that they would recommend. I don't know if it's needed at this point.
I would reread it and say it again, it may impact soil classification.
Yeah.
It may. It's not saying it will, it just says it may, and we're saying it has no or small impact.
You're not saying it has no impact, you're saying it has a small impact. In my experience and based on the legal parameters of seeker, that's a decision that you don't need expertise to render. And that, you know, it's generally something a planning board has the capacity to make a decision on. I don't know off the top of my head, but we can look it up. The seeker handbooks provide thresholds to answer these. Eric, are you familiar with those?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I
looking at
use.
right now.
That's what I used to answer this. And to the point about the Ag Committee, you did consult with them or you sent them your coordination materials. They did not respond back to those, at least not yet. So you can certainly make a decision prior to, but that's of course up to you. I only say that just to.
I just refer them all together.
But
Right.
well, but so I wanna make it really, really clear. This isn't. This isn't an expert question. It's a question to be decided within the parameters of seeker. And you're,
Understood.
no, well, so. We don't it doesn't reach this point a lot of the time. But when it does, because you can usually you just know, it's either this or that. And everyone kind of concurs. When you're faced with a question like this and your town engineer does this, even when he knows, he looks it up in the seeker workbooks and says, okay, does it exceed the thresholds required to make it a no or small impact, which would make it a moderate to large impact? And your town engineer did that for each and every one of these questions.
Okay.
So that's why I'm confident you don't need their opinion to render this decision. So
May I
use
offer-
permit, yeah,
Sure.
We have part of the seeker coordination, also the project went to Ag and Markets. We did provide what they called it a, notice of intent was provided by them. So from their perspective, this project's good to go. There were some real intense back and forth with their.
I thought their letter said that they've given you notice of completeness, but that there's like
For the
45-day review period where they review it for impacts and mitigation, which to that point. Ag and Markets will require, if they feel the need to, certain mitigating requirements on you all. So the planning board can have at least comfort of that, the State Department of Ag and Markets is. It will require mitigation if they feel it's required as well.
In that same vein. By the time we have the ag, this will be our third appearance for the ag committee on Thursday. Assuming they give their comments out by then, you could then interpret, I think this is what maybe the chairman was getting at, you could. Take those into conditions on the special use permit site plan approval. So they'll be, whatever their concerns are, will be addressed. And Ag and Markets has been in front of this as well.
but, and not to belabor the point, but it's, you raise a good question. Let's just go through the impacts set forth in the question 8, impact on agricultural resources, full EAF of the seeker workbook. What?
I was just saying that this part is specific to question.
Yeah, so what are they?
What are you trying to read here, like whether there be a small impact?
Yeah.
So what it says is that a small impact will occur could occur in one of these circumstances, project temporarily uses the soils, but will restore them. For agriculture use next season. Small proportion of these soil groups will be impacted, the remainder will be in agriculture. As I'm reading these, of course, continue or consider this project itself. There are many areas adjacent to the site having highly productive soils remaining in agriculture. Highly productive soils will be scraped away, stored nearby, and then spread after construction for reuse as agricultural soils, soil impacts, right? And the land use is such that the highly productive soils could be used again in the future. In other words, they are not covered in structures or impervious surfaces, but will remain in critical sizes usable for agriculture. So what I provided you this reasoning analysis, and you guys can add to is how we feel fit. But the reason I put it as no or small impact was because this is, although it's a law, maybe a medium term to consider some of the scale of this use, but ultimately these will be removed from the site and the soil being remediated to the prior condition to be potentially used as agriculture. That seems like it meets with that final note, that the land use is such that highly productive soils could be used again in the future.
And finally, the site is proposed to remain in agricultural production, although of a different type. That sort of addressed the concern based on the parameter.
That's in the narrative.
I mean, just about coordination.
No, it was a good question.
I had to think twice.
And there's a good answer, so I like to,
So we could go through more things.
That's why we go through it.
you're supposed to be raising those questions. Anyway, now we got a bunch more. B, the proposed action may sever, cross, or otherwise limit access to agricultural land.
No or small.
No or small.
C, the proposed action may result in the excavation or compaction of the soil profile of active agricultural land.
No or
No or small.
D, the proposed action may irreversibly convert agricultural land to non-agricultural uses. Either more than 2.5 acres if located in an agricultural district or more than 10 acres if not.
No or
No.
small.
E, the proposed action may disrupt or prevent installation of an agricultural land management system.
No or small.
F, the proposed action may result directly or indirectly in increased development potential or pressure on farmland.
No or
No
small.
or small.
G, the proposed project is not consistent with the adopted municipal farmland protection plan.
Bingo.
And here we do have a moderate to large impact.
And how did we address that? Oh, did you, in your narrative?
Actually, might have meant to put no or small impact there. The concluding line in my narrative says therefore the planning board determines there will be no small impact. So.
Overall.
Right, so
Well,
you can we'll read through that real quick. 2016, Town of Canandaigua adopted a municipal agriculture enhancement plan. The plan provides a goal to manage land use and development to avoid or reduce impacts on farmland. The goal is broken into a strategy to maintain zoning regulations and district boundaries that encourage more intensive development outside of priority agriculture areas. It further states that the town should maintain zoning regulations and district boundaries that retain lower densities of agricultural areas and limit incompatible land uses such as solar farms. This plan established a strategic farmland protection area. The project site and surrounding areas was within that area. The plan further created a rating system for protecting land. This project site was within the highest rating category. However, this project was developed to create compatibility between agricultural production and solar use. Further, will not be permanently removed from agriculture, only temporarily for the life of the solar equipment. Therefore, the planning board determines it no small impact. Now, obviously, if you want to change or modify that narrative, that's up to me.
So the presentation about the different type of agriculture, I found fascinating. The value of the agriculture. Is seeker only looking about, is it seeker only concerned about crop? Or are they more broadly concerned about agricultural production as has been presented?
New York State very clearly does not make a distinction. There's a definition of agriculture in New York State Agriculture and Markets Law. Hang on.
25 AA.
Oh, it's off the top of your head.
Yes.
25 AA.
Don't forget 25 AA.
Never have to look at it because I know what it says. Well, no.
I thought it was Walker, right?
No, I remember looking at it the first time and thinking, wow, that covers just about every. Covers vineyards, it covers cattle grazing, it covers horses. silviculture. Crops, livestock, but so it does cover everything.
But
I
the
guess.
intent of the project is to maintain property in an agricultural condition.
What a lot of what seeker considers is, here is your impact at its highest. What mitigating feature have you introduced to take that impact down from significant to not as significant or not significant at all? So our attempt at this was an acknowledgement that, you know, maybe all of these could have been moderate to large, even without necessarily looking at this plain workbook language. But we're trying to mitigate that, especially your compliance with the farmland protection plan, because you know, just keeping agriculture in there in some way, whether it's that north field for haying, the chicken, or sheep, or orchard, or the apple orchard, the chicken, sheep, or pigs that'll be on the property. You know, there's still that component there. So because we have mitigated it, I think you could still answer, you know, take your attorney and your engineer's advice, you could still answer it moderate to large. And when you answer it moderate to large, what it says is you have to then justify it within your part 3 narrative, which I think Eric's done.
So I would leave it.
I would.
I would
like
leave it.
this,
Yeah.
but- Cause we can't say, no, it's in complete compliance with our strategic farmland plan, it's not.
Yeah.
But I think Ari just did a very good explanation, that mitigation, that's what seeker is actually all about, is if there's going to be environmental impacts, the applicant, the developer has to mitigate them, make them better. Okay, we're all comfortable with that now?
Yep.
And I think Eric answered question 8
Yep.
well in the
Yes,
narrative. Impact on aesthetic resources.
I'll say no.
Impact on historic and archaeological resources.
No.
We know of.
Impact on open space and recreation.
No.
That's right. Arrowheads.
Impact on critical environmental areas.
No.
13, impact on transportation.
No.
14, impact on energy. Wait, hang on.
Positive. Positive input.
It's actually positive.
Oh, read it.
Ari, do you want any of these?
I think it's technically, yes.
I know.
This is where the part 2 form is, we were just, it's kind of silly, because
It talks about an increased use of energy.
Yeah.
which-
Yes.
Right. Yeah, impact.
So number 14, let's answer, do we all agree that there is an impact?
No, there's not an impact,
The
because they're not,
proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy.
no. No.
Used to.
Translate into consumption.
the question is, if you look in the workbook and ask, will there be an impact? It's about, at least I read it, it's about use and consumption.
Yeah.
Which is not us.
Okay, so
Yeah.
leave it as no, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if we don't use it to make it.
Okay, impact on noise, odor, and light.
So this one bothers me a little bit, because last time we talked about your noise study was missing a couple of things. And I didn't see a new one yet. So,
Because it just came in
well,
at 3:57 PM.
too late for me.
Filed it, didn't you?
Yeah, we probably know.
With all the
20th was
equipment,
before our meeting.
It's, you know,
That had an updated noise maps.
they wanna talk about the motors and.
Yeah, and we included that.
I didn't see any motors.
All right, well, Ari, has it been submitted or not? You've got it.
And I honestly,
Is that the one that only, yeah, is that the one that only went, there was one that only went to the variance, and then I thought I put it in both.
Yeah, I don't see it in the.
I will tell you, Haley, with all the documents y'all provided, they get lost.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I'm looking for things all over this place. The newest ones are just, where are they? You know, how can I filter for the newest and the right ones?
What we do is. If you plan.
Well, not always.
Need some AI.
Well, okay. So we have a licensed engineer, you're a licensed engineer?
I am not, but CNS is.
Okay, and they, well, so,
And it was, the noise analysis was prepared by a professional engineer. Who looked at not only the, you know, the.
Let's
the
say yes.
inverters,
I would
but
say yes.
also-
Say yes and go
Yeah.
through the.
It's the June 20, I think
Yeah.
the disconnect is, it was the June 20th upload. Candidacies right there, CSG one LLC _ MRB.
So that was to the variance application.
Yeah, I'm on the planning board page has one too, I believe.
No,
Either way, it can be.
no, we have a 625.
Small.
Oh,
Oh,
It's the
that,
same one.
that's the one that I uploaded during the meeting because it wasn't.
Chris, let's just turn it to yes. and go-
Yes, I'll go through the,
Yeah, we can go through.
I was gonna suggest, at least you can answer that may result.
Yeah.
And it gives you a chance to analyze your fill this out.
Yeah.
A, the proposed action may produce sound above noise levels established by local regulation. B, the proposed action may result in blasting within 1,500 feet of any residence, hospital, school, licensed daycare center, or nursing home.
No, we're so small.
C, the proposed action may result in routine odors for more than 1 hour per day.
What about those pigs?
D, the proposed action.
Chickens should work.
The proposed action may result in light shining onto adjoining properties.
No, small.
E, the proposed action may result in lighting, creating sky glow brighter than existing area conditions.
No, more small.
There any other impacts we have concern about here?
you bring up in part one about the construction. Could cause noise. I don't know if you wanna
Yeah,
mention construction in there as another impact.
yeah, traditionally, and Eric be interested and Chris interested for your take on this. The way I look at seeker and construction is it has to acknowledge that the noise may exceed ambient, but construction for seeker purposes is temporary. Whereas you're tasked with really investigating the permanent impacts. Having said that, I know there is a question in the FEAF about it. And our traditionally, what we would just direct the construction team to do is whatever the noise code is for the town, whatever the allotted hours of construction are, that's when you're allowed to construct.
Okay,
That's a good explanation on it. You know, if it was a 10-year construction period, well, that may be temporary, maybe there's a different outcome. But you know, an 8-month construction period is not, does not create the impact that it would raise it above smaller no.
And before you move off that, Bob, it's went on June 20th and then June 25th again, we submitted our omnibus MRB response letter. Attachment F to that is the updated noise analysis. So I'm looking, for example, I'm looking at the site plan cloud permit page. I'm sorting by modified.
Did you include the documentation on the motors also?
Let's see, I don't know, that might have been, the answer to that might be no, because I think that was the comment that you made at the meeting. And is that what the one that was shared today has, the motor?
I think it was in there.
Okay.
Well, I'll look for it.
It's
I'll
been
look
in there.
for it.
Well, there is the spec sheet on the inverter that lists.
Well, that's the inverter, not the motor.
Let's be very.
Yeah.
Let's make very sure that the information Bob asked for is in.
It's in there.
Yeah, so what they did is. In attachment F then has its own sub attachments, one of which is a modified site plan image. And it has these yellow dots on the solar array that are the motor.
Right.
And what's the call out of the calc, it's distance.
Distance from the motors to property lines and to adjacent residential property.
Yeah, and it looks like the closest one to a property line is,
Is it that dark?
open up 625. And then,
What's the dB rating, you know, or no, right top of your head?
So the motors. It's like 88 decibels and this it's in 1 meter on the.
88?
You know what it says? On the first letter, cover letter. But even solar right there.
First page,
Put a page.
oh, and you and me find it. And
There it is.
This stuff we can talk later.
It's in there. This is the exact.
go to page 79, please.
Talking so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, Brian, your turn. Go.
We would prefer you give us technical information
Yes,
rather than
thank you.
lawyer.
It's loading, I believe. She's giving you time to prepare.
Anybody heard of you?
I have it right here.
Oh, here, you can just look at this.
Oh.
I'll just scroll over. Oh, is it?
Oh, there it goes. So if you scroll up into the narrative,
Right,
it
let
gives all of the,
Oh, do you wanna go to the yellow dots
the
first?
yellow dots, sure, so scroll down just a touch.
There we go.
These are
Right, so
the-
these are the motors, you know, they're represented with that yellow highlight. The motors are, you know, provide a distance, motors themselves to adjacent properties, and residential structures. We also have distances from the inverter, to those same boundaries. And so, you know, all of this is taken into account. We have a professional engineer who then takes this information, who understands like what it means, like how sound actually disperses. You know, and not only just individually, but when combined. And so then he takes those and does a calculation and then can identify what the, you know, what the noise will be at its loudest to the closest residence. And so if you scroll up just a little bit, there's a summary of what this looks like in the narrative here. And I'm sorry, I just don't remember this off the top of my head, but so right here's the you know, here's the summary. Attachment one, the racking motor at the southernmost portion of the array predicted noise is 41.9 decibel. For example, like you know, forced air heating system is typically 42 to 52 dBAs. Exhaust fan has a typical noise of 54 to 55. So obviously,
DBA is different than a VB.
Decibels,
dB
versus DBA.
Are we comparing apples to apples? I just wanna make sure.
Could have dropped an A.
I'm not sure about what the difference is there. That's what, yeah.
Oh, it shows up later too, 53.
I can ask, you can scroll up here just a little bit. I just want to show you that.
DBA average.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Average.
DB average, that's what it is. Thank you. Yep.
That's funny.
Oh, should have had Eric come instead of me tonight. This is definitely his thing. But anyway, so here are the
DB, it's not. Just a
Yeah,
wait.
is it 8-week investment?
Yeah, wait. Did we all just Google?
weighted
the same thing?
decibels.
Yes.
You don't
Did
have
not
to
know
explain
that.
it. I just want to be sure. Yeah, no. I can't speak to that.
Plus we get using the inverse square law.
And that's what he has there. So I think that in here in the text, there's actually information about what the I think scroll up just a little bit, what each. There we go.
Yeah.
The inverters, 69 decibels, but this was 1 meter, the transformer, 61 decibels, and this was 1 meter. Solar rack meter, this was motor, that's really for 88 decibels at a distance of 1 meters. So those are the values that were used based on the manufacturer's specifications. And again, scroll all the way down to the bottom, where he's summarized what you can expect to see. He's compared
There you go.
So its calculation performed this noise analysis indicate that the maximum noise levels produced by the proposed project will be 53 decibels at the closest property boundary and 41.9 at the closest residence to the proposed source location. So that's worst case. Here's an example of what those you know, what that decibel number is comparable to. Again, like I said, an exhaust fan is 54 to 55, forced air 42 to 52. So obviously, you know, not very noisy circumstances here for project.
That it just mentions it doesn't take into account landscaping.
That's correct. I mean, it's just assuming that there's nothing in the way. Obviously, the landscaping would even further reduce and buffer the noise. That's correct.
Does your report include how many motors you have? You don't have to answer it now. I'm gonna look at that.
7.
Yeah, I think that.
It's yellow dots.
Yeah,
Just the yellow dots.
Yeah.
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 I just asked that
Go,
too.
go, yeah.
Strong motors.
Your most important sentence is the last one. Right, because it's signed underneath it by a licensed professional
Yeah.
engineer,
Yeah.
saying. It is our opinion that the noise levels generated by the operation of the equipment associated with the proposed project. Will not result in a significant impact on the neighboring property.
Perfect.
Yeah, there aren't actually, I would expect for there to be more motors, but we consulted with our rack spec, you know.
700s.
There are not any.
The only thing I have with the motors is they're continually moving throughout the day. It's not a one-time event. It's gonna move, and then move back, and then it's gonna have that, continual. But if you can't hear it, you can't.
I think the inverters would be more.
Yeah, I think so.
consistently making
Yeah.
noise
That's what I
than the
think,
motor-
right.
Motors themselves.
Good, everyone comfortable on noise, light and odor?
I think so.
Thank you.
16, impact on human health.
No.
No.
17, consistency with community plans. The proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans.
That's I know we're small.
Well, I think it's,
not-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we already said that. Sorry.
A, the proposed actions land use components may be different from or in sharp contrast to current surrounding land use patterns.
No.
Why?
Well, because it's gonna be, to me, they're still using it as ag. It's still a minor impact where it is located in the town. County Road 10 was a little bit harder for me to do that one because it was like in town.
It's rural, agriculture, residential.
Now,
Well-
I think it's. In the comprehensive plan, protecting the rural character is number one. Or is it agriculture, number one?
What?
In the comprehensive plan?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It
may be different.
Irregardless.
Sharp
the-
cuts.
Protecting the
Yeah.
rural character
It's not sharp.
is a prominent, it's prominent in the comprehensive plan.
Yeah,
How do we quantify? I'm still new. I'm still new here.
you're not that big, Tom. It's a good question. How is it quantified in the workbook?
What is the scale and size of the project site compared to comparison to current land uses? Is the structure larger, taller? A different lot size and a very different land use. An architectural design that is in sharp contrast, cited on the parcel in a very different manner. Well, it's in sharp contrast to. How rural land is developed. In a residential zone.
In a rural residential.
Rural
is what you're-
residential.
okay.
So.
Well. So. But again, we use the workbook, the analysis section of the workbook. And maybe Eric didn't read it loudly enough. Can you go back out again? What is the scale and size of the project site in comparison to current land uses? 1, is the structure larger?
Significant.
Larger than a barn?
Significant.
What's
We're covering,
okay,
we're covering a land mass.
okay.
I'm
Is-
on board with mitigation, okay? I just have to.
I'm listening.
No,
I just.
You're
have
new,
to-
but you're asking good questions. Let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Tim,
Yeah.
this is the conversation that seeker wants. This is
Yeah.
seeker analysis, what we're doing.
This is definitely the point of what we're.
And these questions, especially as it relates to community plans, are somewhat subjective. No, they are, but not long ago, we just approved a subdivision across the road for residential lots. I'm sure folks who own that property might think that it's significant. It's moderate or law.
Yeah, I mean, is it taller?
No, I wouldn't say taller, but it
Right.
certainly covers a greater area.
Is it on a different lot size? Are there other farm areas around here? Anybody?
Yeah, there's farms around there.
Okay. is of an architectural design that is in sharp contrast?
Yes.
Is it cited on the parcel in a very different manner?
Just a large count.
Will there be more people at the site than surrounding uses?
No.
More traffic?
No.
More structures on the lot and less green space than other lots?
How do you evaluate that against space and here?
Well,
Say large, you know, say it's maybe the impact is not for large, and then impact it with your buffer.
I mean,
Eric, do you have a narrative on this
That's
specific
what going to
portion?
that,
Because I
right?
think this is exactly what required the narrative. It, and this is also an issue with the form of part two. No or small, one option, even though those could mean wildly different things. Same with moderate to large. Technically, I understand where you're coming at, Tim. It could be moderate to large, but again, all that would require is just a corresponding narrative. And I don't know if. Eric's got
The
this.
narrative is relatively light, but it says the proposed solar use is different than surrounding land uses. However, the agriculture use and landscaping attempt to mitigate this impact and connect the proposed development to the character of the surrounding area. Therefore, the planning board determines that we know the small impact. So it can change based on it.
Okay, that's.
are we comfortable with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No or small?
No or
That
small.
it's no or small, or moderate to large but mitigated?
From large to large, but we'll make it.
Is everyone okay with that?
I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with the mitigations as written.
Got it. By consensus, Eric's gonna change that. B, the proposed action will cause the permanent population to grow by more than 5%.
No or small.
The proposed action is inconsistent with local land use plans or zoning regulations.
Yeah, I think it is right now, without being zoned.
Yeah. TBA.
So
TBD.
I think that it's
moderate
probably
to large, because it's going for variance.
However, the zoning ordinance purpose in section 220-2 of the town code states that the zoning law and official zoning map enacted pursuant to this chapter are designed to provide for solar access and the implementation of solar energy systems. There are no specific references to the desired uses on this site within the comprehensive plan, and no references to the appropriate location for solar. The proposed agricultural use is permitted within this zoning district and is supported by the town's plans. That's what your town engineers suggested for your narrative.
Wow, sounds good to me.
To be the planner
Yeah.
who wrote that section of code. So,
It was AI.
no, Eric, that section out of the code now 10 years ago.
I'm okay. No, we're small.
Consensus?
Yes.
Consensus.
The proposed action is inconsistent with any county plans or other regional land use plans.
No
No
or
or
small.
small.
E, the proposed action may cause a change in the density of development that is not supported by existing infrastructure or is distant from said infrastructure.
No or small.
F, the proposed action is located in an area characterized by low density development that will require new or expanded public infrastructure.
No or small.
G, the proposed action may induce secondary development impacts.
No or small.
18, consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character.
Yes.
I agree with yes.
A, the proposed action may replace or eliminate existing facilities, structures, or areas of historic importance to the community.
No
or small.
B, the proposed action may create a demand for additional community services.
No or small.
C, the proposed action may displace affordable housing.
No
No
or
or
small.
small.
D, the proposed action may interfere with the use or enjoyment of officially recognized or designated public resources.
No or small.
E, the proposed action is inconsistent with the predominant architectural scale and character.
No.
F, proposed action is inconsistent with the character of the existing natural landscape.
No small.
No,
What mitigation?
Can we step back to E?
Yeah.
Little clarification on architectural scale and character, since it's rural agriculture. That's houses, barns, fields.
So what your town engineer proposes as a narrative section is, as the site is currently a vacant agricultural parcel, the proposed structures are inconsistent with the existing character. However, the proposed development minimizes the height of the solar arrays and includes screening surrounding the solar arrays. The site will also remain in farming with livestock on site. It will also be removed in the future, so the impacts are only temporary. Therefore, the planning board determines that there will be no disfallen.
Agreed.
That concludes our review of section 2.
May we quickly go back to impacts on groundwater? I think that is number, no, you do not skip it. I just wanted to check on one thing. We do have this proposed. Well,
We have it, oh,
and I didn't know if we wanted to. No, not to look at get towards the mouth because it was impacted, no, but I think for purposes of completeness, I don't know if you've. Had a messaging around it, Eric, or anything like that?
I think generally that section refers to potable water.
Okay,
So because this is just for agricultural consumption, I don't think that's necessary.
that works for me.
the water
You,
supply.
in part one, you answered no, is you create a demand for
Yeah.
water. Don't mention a well.
But I think it's there, so it's not potable water for human consumption.
Well, I think the question came up, ECB, that would you have water for livestock and plants? And I guess, is that part of the purpose of that well?
Yes, the only purpose.
The only purpose. So that answered.
Yep.
Addresses their concern regarding having a well, okay, good.
And having conducted that review, the town board could, or excuse me, the planning board could adopt by motion the resolution prepared by town engineer that starts at the end of your narrative stating secret determination of significance resolution, and we could entertain a motion to adopt that resolution.
Before we do that, I should have done, before we started part two, on part one. You mentioned about state agencies for funding, is that a must-have? Does that funding have to happen?
The NYSERDA funding,
Yeah,
which funding? Does it have to happen? What
do you have to have that money to go ahead with this project?
You technically don't have to have that money to go forth with the project.
Okay.
Well, you do it without.
I don't know if we know the answer to that at this point.
Okay, well, it was just, I noticed it here as a state agency.
The sequencing too is usually, to go NYSERDA funding. You need to show you that your local land use approvals are done. So usually in terms of stacking the dominoes, it would be all set with this board and the zoning board. Chairman, you'd probably sign the NYSERDA Sun form. You might have seen it before on other projects. Haley would hand that into her team to then go forward with NYSERDA. And then their process is still pretty, what does their process look like?
A month of review, you provide.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
It's just a month,
Okay.
you provide, you technically don't even need that NYSERDA form, you just need to show demonstration that you have all of your approvals in hand. You give them your site plan and all supporting documentation, you tell them all of the tech you're using, right, the panels, the inverters, what your capacities are. And I'd say the whole process takes a month, sometimes there's a little back and forth, but we have a whole team for programs at Dimension. They're really well versed in these applications, that's not something I can.
it's a month from when you submit. the
It's a month from
application.
when you submit.
Right, so it's,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'd say it takes about a month,
Quick.
assuming, there's.
Because we've had projects held up because they didn't get their funding. So,
Not solar,
not,
Yeah,
other projects
other,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
other grant.
Yeah,
8 months to.
yeah,
most
these,
stuff.
the New York Sun program is different than
Okay.
other programs, it moves quickly if you give them everything they need, right? It's not going to move quickly if you don't.
Ari, on part one, C3 zoning, B. You mentioned, is the use permitted or allowed by special or conditional use permit? And you said no. I think should have said yes, right?
At the time, I'm fine for that to answer to be yes. C3B should be yes on the part one at the AF.
No, hang on.
But it's not, right? Like-
It's not, yes, permitted under town code.
Right.
They're gonna get a variance. I think we've got that.
Oh.
Right.
Well, this was specific to special use or conditional use.
No, it's
Which is what we
not
have.
permitted by special use in this zoning district.
Okay,
It may very well become permitted.
assuming the ZBA.
By use variance granted. And one of the conditions.
What are we talking
Presumably
about?
will be that applicant obtain a special use permit. As spelled out in town code section 246. 62.
C3B.
Okay, well, I think. I just wanted to clear up a couple items on part
That's
one
good.
before we went further. The other thing, since we are talking environmental, the ECB. Did come through with their recommendations on their June 5th meeting. Their recommendations included a more detailed and robust vegetative maintenance plan, which is something we can get into with the site plan. The resident rates, which we'll talk about again in a future meeting. And well for the livestock and the watering of the plants, which you've addressed.
Bob Haley did find your email. I responded.
And I received it and I'll send you one back.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
It should not go
One-
to spam or anything now that we've had
Yeah,
it.
one minor function.
Okay, we're ready to, let's put this to bed
Can
and
you
then we.
send that correspondence once it's concluded to Kristen to post on the government?
Okay, we've looked at and we've looked at part one, we've gone over parts 2 and 3. So I think as Chris said, we're ready to act on the determination of significance. You have a resolution in front of you. Any further discussion? I guess I should open it up to anyone in the audience who would like to address the board prior to any vote on the seeker. Anyone wish to do so? If not, back to the board and someone give me a motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve secret determination of significant resolution for use variance and one stage site plan review at 0000 New Michigan Road, CPN 25-035 on approved.
I'll second.
A motion for discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that takes care of that. Any other things the board would like to?
Sorry, it was a resolution to approve your determination of significance,
On certificates.
It's
non-significant.
resolution's titled, but
Non-significant.
that's including.
You want a copy of it?
Yeah, somebody give them.
Sure, I'll take that draft copy. Anyone who's willing to depart with this.
If anybody didn't mark theirs,
There you go.
too much.
On my computer.
Oh, no, I made choose.
You can give one to Haley.
Bob said I could take this.
Now, this is special courtesy, and I wanna
Yep.
make it clear, we only give them to people who have attorneys present, and we only give them after it's over and done with. We're not looking for comments or discussion. That's not directed to you, people are always, what are you?
Help
Let me look at that.
put you to sleep tonight. Okay, any other things,
Get me started. That part.
Charge you for the paper
Yeah.
and fix stuff.
I've investigated the issue, it's that printer is closer to his case.
okay, you're going to Ag,
Ag Thursday, ZBA. next-
ZBA following Tuesday,
Notice.
Oh,
okay?
yes, was that notice for a public hearing? Yes.
Oh,
Excellent.
Maybe we have a copy of that just for,
It's your.
is
Think
it?
Cloud.
Okay.
That's the problem with the dual, you're looking at one and not the other. Chuck, I hate to take up too much time, but I've got a question that has been pressing on my mind.
Now's the time to ask it.
We've addressed the New York State solar exemption via correspondence with our town assessor, yes? The town of Canandaigua opted out of state solar exemption program many years ago. Haley sent a letter to our assessor pursuant to that state exemption program. Our assessor responded saying, hey, we opted out. But if that didn't work, we're gonna require a pilot, not as an incentive for the applicant, but as a accommodation for the town.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be seeking an agricultural tax, property tax exemption, are you? I think that's from the old.
We are
real-
not seeking an
At
agricultural.
this time, we're not seeking an agricultural tax exemption.
I don't think you'd be eligible for
No,
one,
we're
but
not.
I don't think so. I don't think we even. Have to look at 25AA to see if. Just
it's just the section, the code section in itself is pretty impressive. Okay.
We send those letters out as a courtesy as well, you know, we're waiting to see, you know, we know that there's legislation on the governor's desk for the standard assessment as well. This project is definitely not going to construction in 2025, so, you know, assuming we're keeping our options open for the taxing infrastructure, you know, that's something that we can do as the applicant, but we did wanna initiate discussions on a pilot to at least check that box for now.
That was actually one of my questions.
An indirectly related question, are you aware of other solar farms being installed on 444 and Victor right now?
Not mine. No, we don't have projects in Victor. That is a very difficult municipality for solar, I know that.
I would have been curious to your opinion, it's similar in size, but I'd be curious to your opinion of how the construction process might be different related to it, because that's an ongoing build that's happening right now. That's an example to observe while it's being built, if anybody's interested. It's at the 444 and Rice Road.
Rice Road. Oh, Rice Road.
Particularly in Bloomfield.
Oh, that's not, I thought that side of the street was Victor. Maybe it's Bloomfield.
Looks.
Definitely Victor School District. I used to live.
Yeah.
across the street.
It's actively being.
Cherry
constructed.
Street is a boundary within the town.
It's being built now. That's at the
Maybe on your
intersection
way,
of 444 and Rice.
the ZBA meeting.
If you took a
I
left
think
on
that
Race
would be
Road,
appropriate
you're heading towards like Victor.
I wish I could.
130 Race Road, left
I wish I
on
could get into.
Rice
that
Road
side.
to corner of the intersection of
Yeah.
Rice and Fourth.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think they're just having pilots around right now. I think, know where
It's
If it's Victor, I have a friend. who
it
worked
it
there.
is technically.
Okay,
But Victor School.
so again, CBA, if you get the these variants approved, you'll be back to us,
August 12th.
August, yeah, okay, first meeting in August, I was thinking.
And you should.
You I know,
You've already done the schedule.
it's all in my calendar.
To talk about SUP and site correct. Okay, and then we'll really get into the down and dirty. Track record, we talked about dimension facilities in the area. I want in line, do you have a facility in Avon?
Yeah, we do, we have two.
One this size? Or one's 10 times, or 10 times this size?
they're this size.
Okay, I know,
All we do is community solar,
Okay.
so we don't.
There's no agricultural.
No, there's.
No,
that-
I
that
know,
was-
I realize that, yeah,
I think were those acquisitions.
okay.
Is it the one that's way back?
There's one that's way back.
Way
Yeah,
back in
Lake
Avon.
there or no.
Right before you get to Tom.
Brian
Walsh.
would actually know more about these than
Yeah,
I would,
I would've
those
done those, they were-
daily,
Pre Haley, yeah.
So if you have a project,
different.
I did that one.
you have a project that is a
Oh,
similar
that's right, you
on the
give us that.
screen.
Yeah.
I would say that this is more extensive, I'm not familiar, explicitly with the Avon projects. I know that they look different than this one, but obviously those were entitled in a different time, but those are what, like 2019?
If they're up and building.
I think they're both.
They were
Okay.
after COVID, but.
Well, I'm just looking for a place to,
It won't, I mean, this project, I would say has more robust screening, obviously, your town code requires very robust landscape screening, which we've supplemented in our site plan, the borders there. And, you know, we didn't do the same agrivoltaics there, you know, different community with different interests, so.
Sure. Okay. Okay, anything else the board would like to see? I know, Haley, I looked at your community solar thing you sent to Bob and interesting.
Yeah, and if you have further questions on that, please feel free to send them to my way.
Okay.
We have a whole team for programs dedicated to that.
We'll probably ask you to walk us through that, because
Sure.
we want to make sure that, you know, the residents can benefit.
Oh, yeah,
At
we
least they have
definitely
the
can. I think
opportunity.
we're factoring that into this project at this point,
And
so
what
that's.
procedure they have to go through to
Yeah,
take advantage of.
usually they get a mailer from, you know, one of our outreach coordinators. It won't say like Dimension Energy to this project, but it will say like, usually we'll have like a third party, for lack of a better term, recruiter, for fulfilling our subscriptions. And then we, you know, send out a mailer, and if people are interested, they coordinate with us, and it's really quite simple to sign up.
How many?
Sorry?
How many will we be able to get the credits?
It depends on how many people sign up. You know, a megawatt AC powers, I'd say in New York, somewhere between 150 and 300 homes for the full year. Right, so approximately 5 megawatt AC project, you know, 150 times 5, and then 300 times 5, like 1,500 homes would probably be our max. But we, you know, that's not the full subscription model. We would also subscribe to local businesses, but residents would get a bite of that apple.
First come, first served. Okay.
Did have a question.
Sure.
On your photo stimulations, is that an installed height or is that full growth height? Or you?
So typically we put landscape screening in so that it shows what it's gonna look like initially. We've done visual simulations that show at install 5 years, 10 years, that sort of thing. You know, that's a little difficult to do because obviously plants, you know, vegetation, it's, everybody wants to say, yeah, this plant's gonna grow 1 foot per year. Well, you know, that's not always the case, but we do that. So typically, the simulations are, you know, that install date, you know. The apple orchard, you know, that's depicted. I think that the only thing, those might be a little bit, they might not include the additional rows of deciduous plantings that are now you know, proposed to accommodate like that 50-foot.
Yeah, I think this was a original submission.
This was on our March 31st submission. We've since increased our landscape screening over.
Yes, great.
Okay, so I think that concludes our discussions this evening. We got a lot done.
Yeah.
And
See you next time. See you in August.
good luck with the ZBA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Chuck, I have to revise the part 3 for the items and which ones from city.
Okay. You can get it to Kristen and I'll sign it, the decision sheet. All right. See, Bill, what
Thank you very much.
what price you had to pay of being late? All right, ready for you now. This is CPN 2025-063. Bill Grove, representing a property at 2639 Cooley Road. And this is an amended site plan.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
said. Amended
Amended.
site plan, not amended back to the original version, but re-amended.
Okay, tell us what's new and different.
So the project is under construction currently. If anybody's driven up by there, they've probably seen the kind of funkiness of the structure going up. So they initially had a carport proposed. We have shifted the carport and rotated it so that it is parallel to the road now. We added landscape berms. There was discussion at the previous site plan revision approval that we saw about increasing the height of the berms. We had initially proposed them at 18 inches. But we found out before it was approved that the owners had wanted it to be higher and to be able to shield the property a little bit more. So now we've come back with a grading plan that shows those berms at 5 feet maximum height. On the be the north, south, and the road side of the properties. And we added a spa bunker, which is the mechanical equipment that will support the spa or hot tub that's built into the patio on the east side of the house.
Is that back by the greenhouse? I
Um,
thought it was in the,
No, it's like right behind the house. And then.
Oh, I thought-
Then the building is
yeah,
30 feet back.
yeah, that's a
roughly.
Yeah, and
square.
it's gonna be underground from what I was told.
It's
the other
a
day.
short, yeah, there will be an access door, but it's gonna be a little tiny building.
Yeah, I met your drywall the other day.
Those were the. Oh, and at the south end of where the driveway loops around and ends near the south property line, there's a proposed stacked stone retaining wall there now. It wasn't in the original application. That's just to facilitate the turnaround.
A lot more earthwork than the original plan.
Not,
Well-
it is, but it isn't. It's the same area of disturbance or within, a few, couple hundred square feet, I think, of the same area of disturbance, but you're right, the berms being much
Oh, you're-
higher.
You're pushing a lot closer to property lines,
Yes.
all the way around.
But I know drainage off of those berms was a concern, so, made sure that we incorporated a swale on our side of the property line so that any water that runs off of those berms is captured on our property and moved to the east, where it was going before, so that's not a change, but we didn't want water to be able to run off of the berms onto the neighbors' properties.
Is your earthwork a balance or do you have to bring fill in?
It will bring fill in.
The culvert with the driveway there. Did you size that? I didn't see a dimension on the
We did originally, I believe.
Oh, driveways are open.
yeah, crossing.
There's a,
Carries the swale, yeah. That's new.
that was there before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yep, it was sized in the original one, a 12-inch culvert with flared end sections.
But didn't make it onto the revision or is it hidden somewhere?
No, it's not on there.
Okay.
Eric, if we get the disturbance levels that require the different details with.
This one wasn't sent to us, I'm assuming because it didn't meet that level.
It's over an acre, so we have stormwater coverage from DEC on
Is
it.
that from the original approval?
Yes.
This revision wasn't sent to us.
Yep. From the original.
That should answer ECB's concerns about stormwater threat.
Yeah. Yeah, the. Well, the other thing is, the original plan included one, both, I know we mentioned at PRC about a landscape plan.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
the ECB brought it up also, which was another issue of the ECB. And
We have one, Dan Hackett prepared one that I uploaded today. But it's not pretty and colorful and full of notes, but it's in there.
I think it's critical we see that.
Is there landscaping proposed to the west of the carport? Looks like, does it, like the landscape plan kind of ends right where the carport is.
Yeah, that's all he gave me. So lots of
Like an
planting.
X-ray in my head,
Yeah,
brain matter.
I know that they plan to landscape the berm, you know, along the roadside, but
Mm-hmm.
that was what Dan gave me.
Well, I think that was another concern that between the height of the berm, the 5 feet, and then adding landscape on the berm, it just made for a probably high structure on the road edge. Kind of landscaping that is he proposing on the or I tell you what, I since we didn't see a landscape plan, I think we're not in any position to act on the plan until we've had a chance to digest this. And the other thing I was concerned about, the structural integrity of the berm itself. Is that something MRB should look at? I know Lance had brought it up when, I guess, Bill first brought up that the height was gonna change from the 18 inches to the 3 to 4 feet at that time. And Lance had mentioned, we've seen what berms of this height can do to other projects in the past. What would the slopes of the berm at the height and how will it be maintained? ENS measures are needed, grading, drainage concerns. Also, this is a 3 to 4 foot change in height. And if this were a structure, it could trigger a need to come back to the town planning board, which is why we're here. So I was wondering, is it something? Well,
What
again,
do you, I guess you can let me know what you need for that, other
Yeah.
than, I mean, it's.
Yeah, I'll get Collins.
does the board feel we need some information here?
The berm.
I would agree with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We need time to digest what,
Okay.
you know.
You want a more detail, I would, if I were you in your shoes, I'd be curious on where, you know, what the landscape looks like all the way to the road. So,
Yeah,
Was
Dan,
this like an interim drawing for him? Was he planning on preparing like a more formal one that has like this schedule, like a number and type?
he sent it, Dan Hackett sent it to Anthony, Venezia and I, and said, here's the landscape plan, and Anthony can probably turn it into CAD. And that was the end of it, so.
okay, well,
Like, cause,
How would that work?
there are some notes about flowers and shrubs and that, but you're right, it's
You know, what'd be cool?
missing some info.
Flowers. Do we really, we don't need to vote on landscape on the document? Way out here for the, there's no shoreline guidance here.
no,
Yes.
yeah, usually we don't.
What is that, the?
We don't have requirements regarding landscape, but I think being that the original plan had it and being that there were some concerns from the ECB and it was requested at VRC. I think we should.
Take it away, because it's rotating. The uniqueness of that, not the same, that's the science side.
So, moving on, gang. Let's give Bill a little time to get everything together.
What?
Mark that culvert for us.
This schedule you're looking for. And, you know, we obviously want time to review it. The letter back.
You can have this in a week,
So you want us to
You could-
review it?
That's.
2 weeks. You can see us in the first week of August,
May 30.
12th, was it?
So continue it a month,
May 30.
then we would review it. Bill would have a chance to
Oh, excuse me.
review our
We're
letter
gonna
and
meet
then.
another meeting in July.
Well, let me,
I-
yeah,
I'm not sure how busy our team is. I know they have a lot going on. I imagine I can get somebody, one of the engineers in the office to review the plan. I can't say for certain we can. We'll certainly do our best to get somebody to review this and provide a letter by next week. Wouldn't really give Bill much time to review it, and provide any revisions as long
It
as
doesn't
you're,
seem
I guess,
meaningful is what Eric's. point was.
comfortable to.
I don't, I can't do anything with it next week to get it back to you
Okay.
guys for a meeting in 2
Still
weeks.
for a
So
month?
it's for a-
Okay.
This.
August 12th, was it? 12.
Swell.
Okay.
So
motion?
moved.
So move.
Any other concerns other than the landscape plan?
Uh,
Whatever MRB comes up with on it.
the berm, the structural berm, do you have a detail of the berm?
I don't, I guess that's, one thing we can.
Do we also need to look at the impact of on stormwater for the revised burn?
I think that when we look at that, we'll look at the stormwater as well.
How far from the edge of the road is that burn? 25 feet?
I think it's right at basically starts at the right of way line. Behind the
It's
right
not
of
gonna
way.
impede on site distance. 'Cause
No, there's,
Current site distance is 850. Thereabouts. Plus or minus from 12 and.
Okay,
yep, thank you.
all right, I have a motion from Amanda, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
August 12th.
See you again later.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Bill.
No problem.
Yeah, Bill's the first guy ever who said, yeah, don't give me the earlier data. That doesn't actually work.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
maybe he gets first value.
First
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Here, Bill, down to CPN 2025-066-3454 Sandy Cove. This is in front of us tonight because it is a extension or expansion of a non-conformity with a number of variances out at the property, and we have somebody, a Mahar here. Is it you, Wendy? It's yourself, or is it Anthony?
It's Anthony. Can you actually hear me just fine?
Yep, sure can.
All right, that's perfect. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not allowing me to rename myself in the Zoom application, so I hope that doesn't confuse anyone.
Okay, so you're requesting, you'll be requesting a variance from the ZBA next week to increase the lot coverage and the building coverage. Though not substantially, I mean, it was a non-conforming building and lot, so essentially, I think it's going up, what, 0.5% on, roughly on both factors?
Yes, that's correct. At that point, worth noting is that increase is on the order of about 125 square feet overall. And it's with respect to the existing conditions captured in Venezia's survey from earlier this year. Though, back in late 2021, a former owner of the property had pursued a demo permit through Canandaigua for the removal of a 300 plus square foot, almost 400 square foot accessory structure that was on the north side of the existing driveway. It's not viewable from Google Maps if you were to pull up the site using that application, but in Bane Maps, you'd be able to view the approximate position of that original accessory structure.
I can confirm that accessory structure as well, of having it there in the past.
Okay.
And I can confirm it's not there now.
It was a nice improvement to open the green space for that intersection. That intersection is always a little bit of a challenge. But yeah.
Okay. So how do we feel about the expansion of building coverage and lot coverage, and any recommendation we have for the ZBA?
So full disclosure, I met with the owner Carl the other day. We talked a lot about the project. Talked about his neighbor not having a problem on what he's doing. We talked about his landscaping plan, how it was well landscaped now. He's gonna take down one maple tree and replace it with, I think I saw a tulip tree.
Right.
Which will take care of shoreline in my mind. The front of the house is well shaded with trees and other things already. And there may be a couple. What are those other plants that are there, moved a little bit toward the property line, but the property line is quite a ways away from the project. Actually, I was surprised. And the neighbor didn't have any problems with what was going on. So all in all, the deck that's there now is pretty much bad. It would need to be replaced sooner or later. So, yeah, I had no problem. We talked about also, he's gonna put a hot tub on it, and the ruling in the code has been removed from hot tubbing in this district area, so there's no issues there I had. And other than that, there was no issues I had.
But that tree, it's a shame to see the thing go.
I told him the same
Oh, yeah.
thing, pretty maple, you know?
Yeah, it is.
No way you
I
can
don't-
treat well, or
And Dan Hackett name keep coming up. It seems like it's pretty, there's a decent chance that by putting in the new pilings appears for this thing is gonna die. Or be severely damaged, and I would rather deal with that now and replace the tree. Than have a deck built around it and then have to take a tree down. With the deck, sitting on top of the deck. Because it right now, to accommodate the hot tub, it would be right up to the base of the tree.
okay.
The new tree would be in a better, quite honestly, as Bob mentioned, it. Better
Like-
position to block it from lake also.
Yeah, I saw where the tulip was gonna go. What size tulip was it?
2.5 to 3 is what it calls them.
Starting all over. You will be back to see us with your
Yes.
site plan. Assuming you get your relief from the ZBA, so we can get into a lot of this then. But again, in relation to our obligation to report to the ZBA, anybody have any problem with the building coverage increasing and the lot coverage?
Chuck, I stand by always having a problem with expanding a pre-existing.
Incremental growth.
So just with all of the challenges in general that we face, out of principle, I stand behind the expansion of pre-existing non-conformity despite looking at the project and seeing what they can do. The loss of the tree, I think, is important. ECD had very strong reservations. Actually, not even reservations, very strong recommendation of denial on this application, so.
And the ZBA will have the ECB's comments. And we can, reinforce those too.
Now, had that
Having said
pre-existing
that,
structure had been there when he was there and was offering to take that down, that probably would have been a nice compromise to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, typically, Carl, what we do is, there's so many nonconformities over on that side of the lake. That every time somebody comes in to increase a nonconformity, we just say it's an incremental increase and it. In the big picture,
Right.
it just adds to everything. Just our obligation to say that, and I think that's what we'll say here. And we'll also certainly mention the tree. And the ECBA has also mentioned the tree, so that would be our recommendation to the ZBA.
If I could just comment, Bob mentioned, the yard is very well landscaped. It is.
Yes,
It's
and
not,
certainly appreciate your pictures. I'd
yeah, and
better be in there.
granted, I'm no horticulturist, but according to my Google search, those trees grow 2 to 3 feet a year. So it shouldn't take all that long to fill that back in.
Understood. Okay, so that I'll pass along to the ZBA and I'll run it by the board before I send it out to them. Okay, anything else on that? Okay. Let's move on. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Hanging around.
Yeah.
Good luck,
Good luck to you.
good luck next week.
Thank you. Night.
I hope you'll see us back. You'll back to see us.
Have a good night.
Okay, we have a draft of the ADU legislation that we got the day of our meeting last time, and I think we agreed among ourselves that we needed more time to look at it. You have seen the original draft, and there was a new draft that I sent out to you guys today. From Sarah. Based on discussions at the ordinance committee meeting yesterday. And I guess, town board's looking for our comments and recommendations. When they've had a chance to look at them.
I didn't have any more comments than the last one. That was on there.
So I assume that there will be no restrictions on short-term rentals. On either the primary or auxiliary structure.
You would only be allowed, well, one of the two dwellings would have to be, only one. Couldn't have two short term.
Right, because it had to be, would probably have to be owner occupied.
But one could, yes.
Okay.
I confirmed that with Sarah over email, said this does not, like, as it was written when we looked at it last time, this does not include short-term rentals for the definition, is that correct? Her response was correct, a person who placed an ADU on a parcel where the existing single-family home is a current permit to operate short-term rental. However, if that person also received a special use permit for short-term rental due to having a greater than 12-person max occupancy, then they would not be allowed to place an ADU on that parcel.
Mhm.
God, it's hard to read out loud in front of you.
No
Thank
judgment,
you,
no
Mr. Nadler and Mr. Cooper. God, that's hard. It takes forever.
Try to read it off a phone.
So.
Right.
Not only for what? So if the short-term rental doesn't require a special use permit, then it can probably be used that way, but if it doesn't, then it's not eligible.
If
Or it's not eligible for an accessory structure.
if the applicant has a special use permit for short-term rental for greater than 12 max occupancy, then they would not be allowed to place an ADU on that lot.
Okay. So somewhat more.
So
Yeah.
in, what was one that we had with the more than 12? Like the one that upper middle Cheshire,
Oh, yeah.
the.
Oh,
one
yeah,
that
up the hill there.
City. Yeah, so he
Upstate.
wouldn't be allowed to place a ADU on that because that's approved for more than 12.
That goes right back in saying the owner has to be immobile.
Exactly,
Right.
yes, it just further
Yeah.
talks to each other to say confirmatory.
There's a list.
Yeah.
If you read what Sarah sent out today, they've really dummied down this thing as far as it's very simple. I guess one of our discussions at the last meeting was a concern about the maximum size. In relation to the primary dwelling unit.
Yeah, I did not see if it's detached. I didn't see any size limitation.
It is detached.
Percent of the,
Pretty
over
good.
50% of.
That's for the detached.
There is no,
There's no.
as long as the whatever building,
code.
and if, yeah, the building coverage is if it's just building coverage. If it's in the RLD, that it's lot coverage and building coverage, as long as the combination of the two structures do not exceed the as they say here, the bulk area requirements for a single family home. In the district that combined sizes.
Now, will they be required to have a site plan approved?
For an ADU.
Another house, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you get-
Well, no, not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's an accessory building.
If it exceeds the threshold, if the construction of the new house exceeds thresholds requiring site plan approval. Then it would.
220-64 or 65, whatever it is, it's the construction of a new single-family dwelling on a currently undeveloped or vacant parcel. And obviously, if you were in the RLD.
This is a developed parcel.
So this is
So
an
I'm
accessory.
thinking
There's
about,
other, threshold.
There are other thresholds, yes, I'm just saying that generally.
So what comes to mind for me is septic system.
Sorry, what's that?
You're gonna most likely go, if you're on septic, you're not on sewer. Then you're gonna need a new septic system for having however many bedrooms,
Unless your system is already sized for the bedroom.
So they still need a building permit.
Yes.
Oh, for sure, yeah, keep that in mind, so that septic taken care of automatically by the building, by the code
by
enforcement.
the
Like safety stuff.
Drainage, not theoretically, but he's also kind of the MS, well.
Yeah.
Well, if you get into a swoop.
You're not gonna
That's a
get a
lot of
sweat.
earth. Yeah.
I mean. For a residential property, it's usually just during construction, it's not like maybe.
So- The following actions are exempt from the requirement for site plan review. Except an RLD, expansion of a single family dwelling. With or without an accessory apartment and or accessory building structure the same. This includes, so that would exempt an ADU. Under that. But then development which exceeds 1,000 square feet in any commercial district. Right. That, RLD, it would require anything over 1,000 square feet would be required site plan approval in the RLD. But that's it.
That's it.
Anything else to be?
so we will get a ton of work out of this.
How does the board feel about having an unlimited size of the accessory dwelling unit?
We thought it
Other
was
than-
50% of.
It meets the coverage, all of it does.
50%, was it
Nope.
removed?
Nope.
No, that's for attached.
But if we're still in alignment, the total square footage being within the minimum.
Well,
So
this came up at the ordinance committee yesterday and, you know, looking at other codes in other towns, most that have a 40-50% can be no greater. But it was argued by the folks at the committee, a part of the committee, that you could have a situation where you have a primary residence. It eventually becomes the accessory dwelling and they build a secondary unit. And the secondary unit could be much larger than the primary residence. So in other words, you know, grandma and grandpa stay in that and the kids build a big house in the back with the grandchildren. So that was the argument, and I think it was accepted by the committee that that's the way it should read, and that's the way it does read. So essentially, as long as you comply with building coverage and setbacks, of course, and lot coverage, if it's RLD, then you can have two structures of whatever size.
My concern in last week's was that was it going to create potential for the large short-term rental market?
No.
And especially as it's called out for other businesses like Airbnbs and things like that. So to hear that it's limited, so it's 12 or less. It's that concern for me, is that it won't be, hopefully it will not be competing with other businesses in the town.
Okay.
But I don't know whether the intent was that it will provide maybe more affordable housing, but if you think about it in the sense that if there's no limit on the size of the structure, I don't know that that meets those goals, if that's what part of this is.
It can provide more affordable housing by providing more housing options so that people can more effectively fit into the house or find the house that best meets their options. So if it is. Maybe they're a parent that has a home that they've occupied for a long period of time and now they can move in with their child or something to that effect. Then they have that opportunity, they can sell that house to meet some other family's needs. So it's just a matter of providing better options to meet the needs of the community, and then in doing so, people can economize the space to what their needs and affordability.
You also potentially benefit from the diversity of age groups as well.
Right, and there's a lot more discussion lately about family compounds. I've been seeing a lot more of that, so a lot more of that grouping stuff.
Are there certain, and this is, I keep trying to find a way that this could become a problem in my head, but thinking through the subdivision request after. So,
Yeah.
mostly
Right.
around RLD and everything else is what happens when we later get the subdivision request to say, hey.
Yeah.
Well, you then have to have your minimum requirements for that zone. For
Right.
square footage.
We've solved it to a certain extent with the roadside divide, right? So with that change and.
Yeah.
Right, but in some cases, but in other cases, there's gonna be plenty of land because of. I think that, but that's a problem now anyways, right? They could come in and ask to subdivide today. It's really a question of future boards and what they decide to do related to subdivision. If we allow for. At some point, it's kind of like some of the challenges we feel, at least I feel we face with the ZBA now. With the variance requests of almost everyone being approved. Getting into boards later that suddenly allow indiscriminate subdivisions. I think that's a potential risk, but I think the
Yeah.
concept is.
And we kicked it, I know we kicked that around, like, one of the meetings, the ordinance committee was. Yeah, you could have, you could have two houses on a large lot. And if they have enough foresight in placing those houses that they could subdivide it in the future.
I mean,
And conform to all of the setbacks and requirements and
as I was thinking through this.
very positive step forward.
I think it is too. Generally, I think it's positive. I did. Driving down Middle Chester Road in our one project in the scenic view shed, the giant build of addition is a reminder of what I think could go against what we're trying to do in many cases, but there's a few of those.
That house is on 8 acres.
I know.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to stop. it.
Right.
They can
Right.
keep on going.
All righty,
Initially.
so we're okay with the latest draft.
I think so.
John, do you want to pass that on to town board of hearing? I mean, unless you want to see something right from.
No, I don't think so.
Well, but you raised, you think it's a positive step forward, but you raised. Questions about site plan and future subdivision.
Yeah.
And then with the granting of variances, I think that's what you pass on to town.
Yeah, being that it's, meeting's not till the 21st, so.
Okay,
Again, today we have mechanisms in place that prevent most of the problem. It's, but we can't do anything about it.
That's the risk. Can I ask, since I'm a parking guy, do you think that there should be one additional off-street parking space required as part of this? You have a dependent adult with check?
that's in there.
It's requiring it, yes. I'm suggesting that should that be required? Your concern is this board really, most people require.
And then they'll-
So,
We don't do
So
that with
that's-
our official properties, let alone our
just
residential.
what's behind that?
What's that?
Just what's behind that suggestion of one parking space? I mean, maybe I'm thinking of much larger properties where you got driveways. So maybe you foresee the.
I don't know, I mean, I think it's pretty traditionally, you have like requirements for certain number of spaces per unit, either semi-bedroom or a unit
Right.
generally. But the best practice in planning now is that the amount of parking provided is dependent on the context in which the use is. So what's nearby, can you walk, bikes, transits or sidewalks, whatever, provide options that maybe reduce your amount of development. Studies seem to show that providing parking requirements actually increases the use of vehicles in driving. It also increases cost, impervious surface area, which then has other impacts. So while people will likely provide parking, it runs afoul of many of the town's other desired goals for requiring. And in these instances where somebody maybe is lower income, the additional 300 square feet of paved asphalt or whatever becomes a cost burden and maintenance associated with that in the long run. Is maybe something the town doesn't want to require. Is that? That's all there. I guess it maybe doesn't say why it's required, it's required because it's a simple thought that, oh, there's a unit, it requires
There's
parking.
not gonna be a site plan review, then you probably need to have something in there. You know, because you're not having a board looking at each individual application or an application that might apply to. And
Presumably you already have parking requirements, you can't park
Yeah.
on the lawn, I think is what it said. So
yeah,
you either. Add parking to your need, which is required basically if you can't park on the lawn, or you're fine.
Eric, I think the best planning practices that you're talking about don't discourage requiring one spot for a dwelling unit. They discourage, 6 spots per 100 square feet, which results in, a sea of asphalt.
At the higher end, sure.
And our code requires 2 spaces per single family dwelling.
No.
And
There's no minimum
I
of free
thought,
parking.
we always looked at
That's
the
what we go.
driveway, count the garage.
But so your site plan review, that's factors for consideration include adequate parking. So glancing at it, they've got a driveway, they've got our adequate parking.
Yeah, standard is 2 spaces per unit.
Yeah, I mean, if it was right off the street, and there was no parking, I think you deny site plan approval.
Mhm.
But Tim raises, I think, the very good point of, it's a very valid point of, if nobody's reviewing this no board is reviewing it, then how are you gonna ensure that there's any parking? Much less.
I don't know, do you submit a plan for a building permit?
Yeah, there's site plan.
There's gotta be a.
Yeah.
A check there.
There's no requirement, building code, that there be parking is a zoning requirement, not a building code
That's
requirement.
why it's in here.
But we don't do it commercially. Typically have a formalized.
It's unlikely to be, it's unlikely to be a huge impediment as a result of this. I bring it up because the town also doesn't. As a result of my proposal many years ago, the town doesn't require minimum off-street parking requirements for single family or 2-family homes. For this reason, essentially, for these reasons. I just looked at the code, they're exempt from off-street parking requirements and providing the parking demand analysis to play with.
it does require that you use the same access, you're not creating additional access, so.
Same driveway.
And it's not requiring
Same
creating
utilities.
utilities asphalt necessarily. It's that,
It's requiring you to use.
I mean,
the
you
same
could show
driveway.
on your plan, like the same way the short-term rentals, you're like, here's my driveway, here's all the parking.
Yeah.
Anyways, I bring that up. Also, can I submit some comments about some of the formatting on this? So that's kind of.
this one's not. Is this what Sarah sent out yesterday?
I just pulled whatever was on top of it. Some of it's.
I mean, what it does do.
If somebody brings up the question about additional parking, we can say we discussed. We considered.
And I hear what you're saying, but what it kind of does do as well is it controls the potential size. So we see that RLD all the time, people try to eliminate parking spaces by putting in surfaces that may or may not be permeable. We've got a house that has a garage with no real driveway going to it, but it's all the structure there.
And the garage
by-
becomes a
by
catch-all
requiring
junk.
the parking, it gives us some control in some areas related to coverage.
I'll let this to know.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, because they'll be filling that 300 square feet up with a building. In the areas that we're sensitive about. In the areas where we're not sensitive about it, they're gonna want a driveway because it's gonna be 100 yards from the other building.
100 yards, that's a big
Right, well, it's a big room to smart.
Do you want LRB to look at this proposal, I guess, just so. I put a half hour time or something like that.
Sure. Does the town?
Yeah, I guess, no, hang on. Planning board is authorized to retain its own consultants. Eric has the planning board. John has the budget to keep. Planning
So do
board-
we.
Nope, not even a little bit. John's plan. I think MRB, it'd probably be useful for MRB to take a look at this, for the planning aspects of it.
It's not gonna take much time, I already put a bunch of comments in here.
And who will they submit those comments to? Us?
I'll submit it on cloud for
Well, no, let's just send it to the board so that they can consider. Submitting it as their. You can concur.
You want to vote on this month, right? Yeah,
To the town board?
Yes, July 21st, it's gonna be.
but most of your comments
The
are
new agenda.
formatting, you say, not
So,
substance or?
No, Eric's gonna review it for substance and. I think,
My comments are certainly not binding to the town board.
I think it's worthwhile.
But yeah, a lot of them, from what I can see, is related more to formatting, a couple word uses that maybe should be may instead of shall, just to make it more.
Oh, but either way, we're not submitting additional comments after this, right?
I was hoping not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at his and say, okay.
But that's kind of my point, submitting it to us doesn't necessarily do anything at this point in time. We're asked for a recommendation. I think we've made the recommendation, we're fine with the current.
Give it to Sarah, so that, you know, she's the keeper of the,
I'm always.
The
happy to
master
have
copy,
additional
right?
input, I just don't know how it.
Or are you?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean.
Mark, I just wanna give you more work.
if it's.
Page 3, third one, I do not believe the club permit facilities.
Okay. Then, yeah.
I mean, if it's just
Where,
wordsmithing.
I just reach out to Sarah.
Sarah,
Okay. All right, anything else on that? If not, let's move ahead to minutes. June 25th. Somebody
So moved.
give me a motion.
Second.
I got it. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And no surety releases. No
You guys gave away a lot of money.
tissue. Yeah, we did. We knew the cat was out of the bag.
So thanks.
Amanda did a nice job. She was.
I teased.
Full night register.
It was in honor, every time she took the glass to you.
Yeah.
Okay, training gang. We've got the Playing Federation seminar at FLCC this Friday. If you're signed up.
I just saw a solar come online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the one from Ryan? Staycheck? The one from Cornell?
I'm not sure, but I just saw it come along.
Ryan is now working at Cornell.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Ryan Staycheck.
And doing solars?
No, he's
Woodchucker.
nice.
Is he still in country?
He's not chopping trees.
Forestry stuff.
Yeah, project.
Still part of
Yeah, it's environmental.
horses.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's part of the extension.
Horses and
Cornell
And
extension.
Solar development,
Like an
Oh, you hear your neighbor.
July 28th.
Community resilience planning tomorrow. From 6 to 7. If you saw that
I'm
one.
gonna forward this to myself.
Green infrastructure is a lunch 7:15. This with boot camps, got a couple seminars, one on solar in July. I'll talk about, and Kim's gonna generate our training spreadsheet to see where we stand. You know, we're halfway through the year on training. And all that being said. Anybody else have anything for the good of the group?
Special projects, you guys all over the nation. Grapple with and became a hard ass on this.
What about our Dutch uncle?
They talked about them, hey, Mark, we talked about them last week.
Did you? I'll get them all last week.
Yeah, we got it all.
The only other, just say, who's aware of it or not, but there's, since one of our tasks from the comprehensive plan is to work on access for the community. Is to highlight the activity that's happening at the north end of the city. Has everybody seen the activity related to everything
Sidewalk?
along no, related to.
With the
land.
Pinnacle North?
Yeah, so everything tied to that, that's currently.
Yeah, it's got a long way to go.
Apparently, multiple people, including the Sam's family, the Wegmans and the Hamlins are offering that land at the north end of the city. And they're working on a plan for its park-like development plus an FLCC building.
Yep. So,
So, positive activities, but just as something to think about as one of our tasks of the comprehensive plan is to provide more access to the lake for our community. To think about that in conjunction with anything else you might be.
You had a list of possible projects, right?
I did, yes. So we're continuing with, Bob owes me his desires of what he really wants to do. Dan needs to talk to me because he hasn't. Amanda's continuing to work on defining the affordable housing question. And I'm trying to get him to work with me on structuring us a little bit and how we go through some of these projects and collaborate on them together.
Okay, good.
So those are the things that we're working on. But it would be helpful to get some amendments.
And you're going away tomorrow and you come back just
Right
before the
before.
next meeting. Good.
But I actually had spent the time on this weekend was busy from around looking. So I thank you for the agenda as well in advance. That's actually very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ta-da.
Motion adjourned at 8:46.
Second, have a good night. All in favor, aye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.